If Lands Could Kill, featuring Night City, Right, So and Crow, and Hot Sauce.
This is your boys from If Lands Could Kill. No, that's not.
That was not.
No. It felt.
It was close. It was close.
No. What's up, everybody? This is Night City from If Lands Could Kill. And as always, I'm joined by my bestest friends in the whole wide world.
Feel so
Best
loved.
friends that anyone can have.
Reich, how you doing, Reich?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? And we also have next to me.
So and Crow.
Indeed, we do. And then next to him.
No. He has to. It's like
No, I don't like him
It's
very
like
much,
popcorn
though.
reading, you know. It's like
this hairy beast of a man.
Come on.
What? That's pretty accurate.
Introducing in the black shirt, in the red trunks, weighing in at 215 pounds, 115 pounds of that being hair. It is Hot Sauce.
Hey! Come on down! Hey, you suck! You get up here! I worked really hard for this.
You're on The Price is Right.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Yeah. The Price is Wrong, Bob.
Oh man, it's good to be sitting at this table. No more than a week since we last podcast, right? Give or take?
Give or take.
Give or take.
It's probably been 10 days or something right around
But still, I mean,
That was nice in the last one
we're getting
before that.
closer.
Yeah.
We're getting closer to a week.
there. It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's getting
And
there.
I think
Set a date.
Podcast tomorrow.
Yeah. So what have you kooky motherfuckers been up to lately?
They Live. That's the name of the movie. It just came to me.
They live? Is that
Yeah,
what it
So and Crow before we started the podcast, So and Crow were talking about a movie with it's the movie where the guy has the glasses.
Yeah, and that's how he sees the aliens, and it's like the obey shit.
Yeah,
you know,
he's like, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. That's where the saying
bang starts blowing fuckers away.
That's where the saying originated from, and I was trying to figure out the movie. I was sitting here the whole time trying to.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
why I
it's-
was confused with
it's-
Dead Alive, They Live. You know,
I'm sorry. I was trying to put that in
Everybody
there.
is on the edge of their seat right now.
Whatever.
You know I'm just going to edit this out, right?
That's fine. That's fine.
Perfect. It's not going to make sense.
He explained it.
Speaking of movies that we didn't just speak of, everyone should go see Cabin in the Woods. It's Halloween time.
What?
Cabin in the Woods.
Is there a movie like that?
It
Is there
is.
like 8 movies like that?
No. Not even. There is no movie like this. It's not a scary movie, but it is a scary movie. It's a comedy, but it's not a comedy. It is.
Reminiscent of
It is the weirdest shit ever. It's if.
Is this an old movie or
No,
a
it's
new
a brand new movie.
Is it really?
Well, like probably 2 years ago.
I was going to say.
If Quentin Tarantino made a scary movie, this would be. If Robert Rodriguez made a scary movie, this would be
it.
They just do whatever the fuck they want, and it's not too B rated or B rated comedy type or B rated comedy, B rated horror type shit, where it's just like over the top, silly.
It's like slapstick, like horror.
Trees raping women and all that shit.
Oh, I've seen that movie.
Right.
That anime?
All I have to say is that if you haven't seen it, you should fucking see it. You should just sit down and just let the movie happen to you.
Just let it.
Because it's not gonna, you're going to start watching it and you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is this movie about? And it explains itself very well. But the movie just goes wherever it wants to. It's hilarious.
Just does what it feels.
Oh my god! It's just like Tarantino, when like someone gets shot, 50 gallons of blood pour out of them, and you're like, that's stupid. That's dumb. Come on, we all know that's not how it happens. And they fly across the room. You're like, come on, Tarantino. But it's, at the same time, it's fucking hilarious. Or like a great example is like the beginning of Inglourious Bastards, when they're talking in German, and then he's like, hey, you want to just switch to English? And he's like, yeah, I can speak English. And then that doesn't happen. He just did whatever he wanted to. Wouldn't it be funny if we just had them switch languages?
Yeah, it doesn't happen in Poland or fucking wherever they were at the time.
So just imagine that scene happening over and over again for an hour and 45 minutes. That's what's happening.
Cinematic masterpiece.
All right,
It is.
I'll have to go see it.
Yeah, I actually am intrigued now.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. Anyone that's seen it, I mean, they'll be like, yeah, that's a ridiculous movie. That's pretty much me. Right?
Yeah, you're good.
But you got a new job as a movie promoter?
Movies that have been out for 3 years.
Yeah. Coming soon to VHS.
Yeah, I've been handing out those
Now
calls.
see it on Betamax.
It'll be on ABC Family this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's awful. That's awful. But no, I have been up to. Oh no, I've been up to a lot. I'm actually off this whole week that we're recording. But yesterday I went to the rifle range. I've been getting back into fucking shooting again. I'm down. I'm gonna bust out my AR again. I'm gonna start dressing up like Barbie doll, doing all the craziness to it again. I was looking at stuff online. I'm like, oh no, this is why I stopped fucking messing with guns.
Any hobby is expensive,
costs
but
so much money.
I thought you were saying you were going to dress like Barbie doll.
Yeah.
That's and shoot. Okay, go for it. Fucking record.
I was at half mast already.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I will be dressed up as a
We
Barbie
can
doll.
Sell that for sure.
Halloween.
Reich in women's clothing.
How good that could that be? I've
He's got the frame.
He has boyish good looks.
You gotta tuck it in though for sure.
Yeah, you got definitely.
You know, it's one of a buddy of mine used to say that the next best thing next to women was small Asian men. Because they're just so similar. And he was dead serious. Dude, what? You are coked out of your mind. What the fuck are you talking about?
I like the way you think, boy.
It's 2 a.m. at the bar. You gotta go home with somebody.
Yeah, the lights are coming on.
Yeah.
Well, time to go.
Exactly.
Oh shit! No, but I've been doing that, shooting a little more. I want to kind of get out maybe every other weekend, go out shooting, get back into reloading some ammo. But it's a lot of money. I mean, that's why I kind of got out of it originally because I didn't have money, and it's cost a lot of money. But now
Money's coming in.
Got a little more money, but just the time's not there. But I mean,
now that you're not building magic decks anymore, you could just
now that I stopped playing Magic altogether, I can put that money into firearms.
Proxies are making me the best guns ever.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's all I've been up to. I went to the rifle range, and then today I went to the handgun range and shot a ton of money off. Yeah.
You shot your wad.
Dollar bills flying out.
That's what I see. Every time I pull the trigger, it's it's $1 or 50 cents. I know how much I'm spending right now.
Borderlands, you see hit points and
Just dollar bills. That's hilarious.
Oh man, but yeah, so that's all I've been up to lately. I actually haven't been into too much Magic, except I do have a new deck for us today.
Oh man,
but we already know what it is.
That's beautiful though. I know. Well, yeah. If anyone can guess out there, we'll give you a fucking foil charging badger.
Charging badger.
You got to pay for shipping. No.
Yeah, I'm not fronting that 20 cents.
Yeah, shipping's more than the card.
Much more than the card.
But I've been up to... What the fuck have I been up to? I had a very eventful weekend. Actually, left the house and did shit.
You left the house?
It was very exciting. I've been in this lull where since I have random days off, I can't just oh yeah, Friday night, let's go do this. Saturday night, let's go do this. So I've been doing much because I have Monday off. I'm who wants to go out? All right, let's go. And it's I'll just stay home and play Magic online.
You're let's go get Thai food and then go home afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Thai food place is closed on Monday.
Oh,
they totally are too.
They are closed on Monday.
Fucking bastards. You drive all the way over there, and then if it's any kind of Asian food, you just know that Sunday or Monday they're fucking closed. That's annoying as hell.
It's bastards.
But the food's so good. Who cares?
I know. It was
that
delicious.
MSG though.
Oh, that.
Yeah, me and Raheem actually went to get some Thai food. It was delicious. Got some drunken noodles and
drunken Thai boy.
Dude, your name has been on here so much.
Yeah.
Every episode we
There's
mentioned
a half-naked black man walking up behind you.
I don't want to get
Slap him in the ear.
You know what he's like? He's like that guy in Mortal Kombat who pops out of the corner of the and then he goes away and you don't see him for a while. That's what Raheem is in the podcast.
That's all we need.
But we went and got some Thai food. He got some drunk noodles. I got some what the fuck was it called? Tom Yum soup. It was fucking bomb.
Was it protein rich?
Do you have any balut while you were there?
Balut?
Is that Thai? That's Filipino.
I don't care, dude. That just came
It's
to mind like that.
Some sort of Spanish.
Yeah.
Some sort of non-American. But
That's just gross.
Eating them baby chicks and egg.
That are alive, essentially. Then you just cook them.
that's gross as fuck.
I need to
Duck bill and all. It's there. I don't understand it.
But the first time in a long time, I participated in an adult activity.
I don't like it.
Went to a play with my girlfriend.
Did you wear a tutu?
I did not wear a tutu, and we're like,
What'd you guys play?
the bongo? I don't know. I just,
Dodgeball? You guys gonna play dodgeball?
Knife City in women's clothing.
you know what?
Anal beads are involved, right?
I've been in women's clothing a lot more than I should have. You know? And it's...
You guys haven't seen my party pants. They are leopard print, fucking leopard and zebra print spandex. You know that fucking LMFAO? They stole that shit from me. I'm not even kidding. I've been doing it for years before that.
Nice. But we went and saw this play. We got the tickets, like... Our buddy couldn't make it. And so we went and saw this play. It's called, like, The Great Divorce. It was... Like,
Was it great?
Is she trying to tell you something?
yeah, no, it was like some pseudo-religious thing, and I mean, it was okay, it was decent, but like, the last 20 minutes, I was like, can we just get the fuck out of here and like, go get something to eat?
Who cares about the climax?
Yeah, exactly. It's all about that build-up. But we went around, and walked around downtown, it was cool, got some food, slice of pizza, some dessert. Oh, yeah. And then we went home,
slice of dessert.
and went to sleep.
You didn't even get me for going to a play?
Because we're old, and we've been together too long.
Sounds like a good evening.
You didn't get some of that midnight pie?
No. I was like, yeah, we'll
You
do
weren't
this
hungry for
tomorrow.
some pink taco?
No. And then the next day we went to the San Diego Zoo with my niece and walked around a bunch. And the zoo's always cool. We got the year passes, so
Worth it.
yeah, definitely worth it because
Got that too.
you know when we don't have like a good idea for something to do, we can go kill like 3 hours. At
I
the
think
zoo.
you go kill animals.
Dude.
Joe Reich has excellent shootings.
Yeah. I have a.
They do have the zip line deal up top where you kind of sit in the basket and just you can pick them off.
I like where this is going, guys. I like where this is going.
Kill them giraffes.
Yeah, I was afraid I was going to get banned from the zoo for like taking my pants off, but in this case, it might be killing the animals.
Can you picture mounting a giraffe head on your wall? It just takes up half your fucking living room. Just sticking up.
Do they mount it in an
Get out of the way of the TV!
But it wouldn't be stiff. It would just like because it's dead.
like the X's for the eyes and the foot's hanging out.
Yeah, the tongue.
It'd just be but it'd be a flaccid neck. So they wouldn't be all stiff. They would be all like,
Nobody.
No,
It'd be
no,
like you
no,
with
like,
all your ED problems.
nah.
Dude, I would want a flaccid giraffe head on my wall. Everyone expects like the nice perk fucking shit. I want the like barely hanging on by
it's
like
still
a
decaying.
nail gun. Yeah,
there's no
not even
post-mortem rigor
the
mortis.
skin isn't even treated.
That's just
Yeah, that's what we want to think about on decaying traffic.
I just read a story before coming
The
over
magic
here
card, by the way. No.
about some like doctor in like the 30s, and his wife died. He went and took her body and took her out of the grave, took her home, and tried to preserve her body over like a period of like 4 years.
she must have been a really good lay.
And like he like would like, create like fake
Preserve
wax things to her face and like stuff her insides with like cotton to keep her from like completely decaying out, all kinds of crazy shit. So somebody finally realized her sister came over to see what's going on, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're arrested." But this is Florida.
Oh yeah. By the way, citizens arrest.
but
She just points at him. You're arrested.
Gotcha.
But this is Florida, and at the time, women during the jury and stuff thought, "Oh, he's just a romantic. He didn't want to lose his wife."
He just wanted to stay for taxidermist.
I guess he like inserted some paper tube in her vagina, but they could never prove that he actually had sex with her. So, really? So he got off. He didn't even go to jail
did.
for it. Yeah, literally. I mean, fuck. Like, oh yeah, you're good. Go ahead and live your life like a normal person in society. You sick fuck.
I was talking about paper tubes to get me all hot and bothered.
Is that a thing?
Supposed to use a curling iron to heat it up.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm just gonna.
And on that note,
But I want to
We're gonna
talk
let that one go.
Yeah.
The next one,
We're
we're
just,
down
we're just gonna let this die a natural death. But anyways, I want
Well,
to
you
talk
just keep it around for a couple more years. She did die naturally. I mean, it's all good.
So I want to talk about something that happens to me kind of infrequently, and I swear it happens to other guys too. I
It's
swear.
covered 30 seconds. I mean,
Doctors
like
watches it. Oh, girls say it's common.
Yeah.
little quick vinegar strokes.
No, but every once in a while this will happen. And
they have something for that.
Do they have Cialis?
Jace could give it to you. Or
Cialis
hot
Daily.
sauce over here.
so I have So if you were to look at me without me, like, knowing me or, like, me talking, like, just looking down at my cell phone or, like, in deep thought,
This guy's an
I
asshole.
might look like I'm a big, fat, like, racist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have a shaved head, I have a big beard.
Minus the big fat part. But
Yeah, I am very, very white. Like, very white. So, every once in a while, like, strangers just think it's cool to come up to me and just, like, start a racist conversation. They start talking white with me. You know what I mean? They start a very racist conversation. So I was on my break at work the other day. I was smoking a cigarette, like, fucking around my cell phone, and this guy comes up to me. He's like, hey, how do you like working there? And I was like, yeah, that's good. And he's like, yeah, my son tried to get a job there, and yeah, they didn't give him the job. So it's good to see some white people working there, because I thought maybe, they discriminated against them. And then, like, he started, like, to go on to, like, more racist shit. And I was like, what makes you think it's okay to just come up to me like that? maybe your son's just a fucking piece of shithead. Piece of shithead.
Oh, what an insult.
Yeah.
So you got him good.
I wish I would have thought of that at the time, that would have really...
You should have just spoke Spanish to him.
No, habla inglés.
Okay.
And I just, like, I shook my head and, like, ignored him, But that happens to me quite frequently. And it's like, I'm going out with a Mexican. I have black people in my family. What makes you think it's... Like, you can't do that to other races, Like, you can't... It's only okay to, like, do stereotypical stuff to white people. You can't go up to an Asian person and be like, you're a ninja, right? Because people come up to me, like, who just...
Right?
Like, people I just meet, like, sometimes they're like, are you, like, a skinhead? Like, you can't you can't just go up to, like, Obama and be like, you're a gangbanger, right? Like, no.
Well, it's the swastika you have on the back.
I told you it's a birthmark. But it's something like,
Child of the Third Reich.
yeah. Motherfucker, I have receding hairline. Like, it's not...
As you can tell, I'm not a Nazi either, man.
So, yeah, it's just something I have to deal with every once in a while. And it's not like... it's not like pretty girls are coming up to me or, like, people want to have, like, an intelligent conversation. It's like the dumb fuck scum of the earth white trash. Like, hey there, buddy, let's be pals. You want to go to a fucking meeting later?
Yeah.
Fucking got some sheets, So.
Yeah, right.
They're freshly bleached.
That was my rant. Like, usually it doesn't bother me, but that day it was like, what the fuck? So... I felt just because of the way I look,
Right, right.
I get reverse racism. People aren't racist to me; they're racist with me. So
Jump on this. Yeah, let's talk about how America's doing it wrong.
yeah.
That's what I hear at fucking work.
Close up them borders.
So that was my little
Let me
rant.
think of the league where they get the piano and it comes with jump up, turn around, pick a bale of cotton, and then the little girl's playing the piano, and she's all into it, and she's wearing her mom's robe, so it's all like large and white robe on her head, and they're like, no, you can't be playing that song, and take that robe off, what are you doing?
No.
All right, so what have we missed out on here? What happened?
Yeah,
We've come full circle. Thanks for listening.
You've been doing something lately? I don't even know.
Well,
do
the
stuff?
best part is these guys have been adults and fucking going to weddings and plays on the weekend. I took 2-3 days off of work, sat there for 5 days playing Magic, Shadows of Mordor, and Destiny nonstop. And it was amazing.
I bet, man, that would be. I wake up in the morning and I think about that. I go, I just call in. I lose X amount of dollars, but I get to play games all day.
Yeah,
that's sweet. I get to sleep in and just play games.
I have that discussion every morning in my head.
No, really.
Yeah,
But once you like brush your teeth and like splash your face with some water, you're like,
yeah.
no, we're good. We're good to go.
Yeah.
We're good. But that sitting laying in
I
bed,
didn't say we're good to go. I stayed up for
either
3
way.
days.
laying in bed though, I'm like, I think I can just not go to work today. I think today's the day where I just don't go to fucking
It's
work.
like that. It's like when you're horny as fuck and you got all these like derogatory thoughts in your head and you just jerk off, and as soon as you jerk off they all go away and you're like, man, I'm glad I didn't go down to Mexico and fuck that donkey. that was in hindsight, that was a bad idea.
10 minutes ago, that was an option.
Yeah, I had the keys in my hand. I was thinking
The
about
neighbor has a cat, right? We can make this work.
Wait. Okay, I got an out for this. Okay. Okay.
it. Yeah, we just jerk off, clear my head. So
Clear your head.
So-
on, on Saturday night, I did actually call me up at like 9 o'clock. I was like, hey, you still awake? Have you been drinking? He said, no, I haven't been drinking. Go over there. I'm like, I talked to him a couple weeks back about trying to teach him how to play some Magic. Just to have another outlet when you guys aren't available. I can, my wife started to learn it on her own too. It's like I'm trying to extend the circle of players so that I can play at all times.
It's a disease, dude.
I'm trying to spread it.
It's infectious.
So I go over there, and of course he lied. He had been drinking earlier in the day. I'm sitting there, I'm after like 20 minutes of dealing with him. My dad is a great guy. He's a fucking asshole, though. And so I already knew when I'm trying to teach him, he was going to cut me off every 30 seconds and make some stupid-ass joke about how my mom's a whore and all kinds of shit like that. And that's just typical, we say I love you by saying fuck you, and people at the bar go, you can't talk to your dad like that. And we both just turn to them and go, fuck you, you don't know us, just go the fuck away. But while drinking, he cuts me off every fucking 15 seconds to make some fucking comment.
Would that be annoying though, like trying to explain Magic? You'd be like, well,
God,
you can't do that. And it's like, I did it to your mother last night. I don't know. Whatever snarky shit. We're like, damn it, just be serious. I'm trying to explain a complicated game to you.
Oh, believe me.
Just shut goddamn mouth. There was hops.
I was yelling out nonstop, just shut the fuck up. Like, I'm really planning on taking a recorder for the next time I show him how to play and recording the session because it's going to be goddamn ridiculous.
And then we can use all the funny stuff he says on our next cast.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Perfect,
that'll be worthy enough.
So I do want to say that, first of all, I got an Xbox One. I got it in today. Fantastic. It's the bundle with Sunset Overdrive, the white one. You can go online because white's the best.
Damn right, brother.
Damn right, brother. No, the white one is, I really like the white Xbox, though. For reals, though.
How tall's the grass in Lakeside?
This high. Yeah, exactly. So, got that. Second of all, I didn't get. Why would I say that? My mom bought all of us fucking t-shirts.
What kind of t-shirts?
If Lance Could Kill t-shirts.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So if you guys, I'm pretty sure it's the same one, the same logo we have. Yeah, the same logo we have on our Twitter account. So
It's the same shirt. There's a picture of you up.
yeah, right. True that. And so we had one shirt, one beta shirt. See how it looked, whatever. And then we got one for each of us. And I do have 2 extra larges out there for someone that wants to send me an email and send me some cash.
Oh, man.
Say cash.
Yeah. We're not at the giveaways quite yet.
Like $1 will do.
Yeah, exactly. So
thank you, Mom.
that was awesome. Yeah, shout out to her. That was just fantastic.
Pretty awesome.
Seriously.
They're comfortable too. They're nice shirts.
No, they are nice.
Good quality. I like it.
Nice. It's exciting stuff. Other than that, I had something else to say, and it escapes me. So let's move on. Move on
to Magic. All right.
The hell's that?
So
The game that has infected and taken over every aspect of my life.
I don't really have the paper in front of me that tells me what I'm supposed to talk about.
Like we need something to talk about.
I don't even know what's going on.
Oh, man.
Show notes.
Magic.
How's that?
Let's do it.
Magic.
Cards. Okay. So, we have got Commander 2015 coming out really fucking soon.
2014.
2015.
2015.
It's weird they do that.
Well,
It's weird.
on the article, it says 2014. You sure?
It might be 14.
It says on this school
On that paper that you wrote down?
Yeah.
on this college rule.
Yeah, college rule. Damn it, I was trying to think of that. Damn it! I should have gone to college. Damn it. It says on this college rule paper in pencil.
Oh, wait. We did have a little bet between me and Crow today.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I will give you my other end if I'm wrong, and you will give me all your Jeskai charms if I'm right, all right? And he's like, deal, I get it, no problem. And actually, he's fucking right.
What?
Oh,
2014.
It is
2014.
2014.
Oh,
I guess it is
man.
2014.
I wish I had made a bet right now with it.
Yeah, you should have made a
I
bet.
could have gotten Ed or something.
This notebook is wrong.
Yeah, it is.
This
Oh,
live paper.
jackass wrote it down.
Yeah, so anyway.
There is a Commander product coming out.
A new Commander product.
A new Commander product coming out this year. 2000-something. And usually we get spoilers a lot sooner than we are because It's coming out in the middle of next month.
7th.
7th?
I believe it's number 7.
That's pretty soon for us not to have
Is the 7th? Is it 7th, or is that the expansion of the Duels of the Planeswalker app?
I don't know.
I don't.
So
Well, I'm just saying it's one of the two.
It's coming out in November or something. So, anyways, the whole fucking point we're trying to make here is that we got some fucking spoilers from it,
Yeah,
and they're
we did.
all monocolored decks. And for the first time, they have special planeswalkers that you can use as commanders, because planeswalkers were not legal as commanders. But these specific ones are. You can't just throw any fucking
Now,
planeswalker in there.
each color has a planeswalker in the set. Is that correct?
I believe
I've
so.
seen. I think they have 4 or 5, or 3 or 4 color, monocolored planeswalkers spoiled.
Well, reading the article, all 5 sets are going to have a planeswalker.
Planeswalker. Okay, so that's what I was saying. And there's five sets, all monocolored. Last time they were tricolored.
Yeah.
What were they? Were they enemy color? Or what colors are they? Is it enemy colors thing? Or
They were
what
shard colors, I
Yeah,
think.
Shard colors. Okay.
Anyways,
So
so just in case we have some new people listening, which we try to gear this podcast towards, Commander is a casual format where
Very serious.
it's a multiplayer format, so you can play. It's meant to be played with
Like kitchen
two
table
to
buddies and stuff.
2 to 4 or 5 people.
You can't play Commander by yourself?
You can try.
Yeah, you
you
can
can
look.
just rub those commanders all over you,
Yeah.
and
more tea, Mr. Commander.
yeah, exactly.
That's not pleasant.
So Commander, you play with. It's a singleton format, which means you can only have one of any specific card besides basic lands.
Oh, really?
And you play with a legendary creature or a special planeswalker, which is going to be here
Is
pretty
legendary
soon.
anyways.
Is legendary,
Legendary rule.
but it has to be the ones that can be used as planeswalkers.
I
Anyways,
didn't know that you can only have one of every card. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
You can only have one of every card.
Usually 100 card decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with your commander, you have 100 cards, and all your cards, those 99 cards, can only be of the color of your commander. So if you have a black and green commander, you can only have black and green cards.
You should just play 5 colors, then that's basically what it is. You want to have fun? No,
Yeah,
don't do that.
Chromanticore is your commander.
Yep,
Boom.
done.
What's what I'm
Dies
saying,
all the
isn't-
time. Doesn't do
Yeah,
shit.
it does nothing game.
Like there's like this. Okay, well that would make sense because the sliver deck there can be a 5-color sliver. So
Yeah,
that way
there's
you
no
could
sliver
have
is real
5
popular in
color.
Commander. If anyone's looking to get into it, you're gonna search on freaking Google or whatever the hell else, Ask Jeeves, and you're gonna find
Lycos.
Lycos. You're gonna go look on Lycos, and you're gonna see Sliver as a very popular Commander deck because it's easier, I would say, because you really just have a pool of Sliver creatures, and you just choose the best or whatever you can afford or however what, and then they have
boost
3
each
or
other.
4 good mythic rare legendary commanders you can choose from,
Right.
which like the newest one from M15 was the one that's indestructible. All slivers are indestructible,
Right.
so people can play that. There's a lot of things like that. So slivers is one of them. Then they have like angels and zombies, and
Well,
you
like
usually choose that kind
the
of
very
style.
like
Yeah.
thematic ones are popular, and also I mean slivers are just popular with casuals. And like I said, this is casual format, so slivers are good. And I was actually I tweeted at this guy named Jason Alt. He's on Brainstorm Brewery, and I was asking about this deck I want to build. It's this zombie EDH deck with Grim Grin.
EDH stands for
EDH is Commander, and Commander is
Called
EDH.
Elder Hide. Like, was it Elder Dragon something?
Elder Dragon Highlander.
Yeah.
And I don't know why the fuck it's called that.
Because all the original commanders were all based off the legendary dragons.
There you go.
There you go.
boom, slap us.
The more you know. Might as
Don't
well.
slap.
Yeah. G.I. Joe. So,
And then they changed it to be any legendary creature.
right. So, I don't remember what the fuck I was talking about. But basically,
Jason Alt tweet.
oh yeah, Jason Alt, that fucker. So I was asking him about it, and, Commander is supposed to be something that's like fun, but there are people out there who equate fun with winning. So they just build these crazy ass fucking decks.
Want to break the game?
Yeah,
they
they
break
just
magic.
Yeah, they just want to hey, I produced 5,000 mana and I hit you for 1,000,000 damage on turn 4, and everyone's like,
bad fun for
yeah,
counter.
everyone's like, wow, that was fun. You're not invited anymore.
You spent $500 on that deck. Goodbye.
Yeah. So he I think he's written an article about it, but it's called like the 75% or the 75 thing, to where like you build this good deck, but it's not like this crazy ass deck. Like you pull it off, like you back off of a deck like 25%. I haven't read
quarter turns.
I haven't read the article. I could be
I didn't read the article.
I could be totally
I'm
like
making a
butchering.
segment about
What is
the
it,
article. I didn't
72
read it.
virgins or something?
Yeah.
Take my shit from earlier.
So I haven't read the article. I could totally be butchering it. But basically the premise of it is like you want to build a strong deck, but not so strong that people don't want to play with you during Commander.
Commander's sweet because you get to play whatever card you want, really. Like all the fun stuff that you really can't fit into the modern meta and the standard meta or whatever, you can just go ahead and like play those cards. Why not? It's in the color. Let's just put one in there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see it, maybe I won't, but it's like, fuck it. It sounds fun, right? Like, gives you an opportunity.
So like a lot of the tribe decks, they call them, slivers, zombies, angels, a lot of them are like the 75% decks to where they're good, you can win, but it's not going to break the game and piss everybody off. So, and these are pre-constructed Commander decks.
So
that
the
are coming
Commander
out.
2014 are all pre-constructed. You have the 5 colors represented, right?
They're all monocolored.
Yeah,
all
it seems
monocolored.
like every commander is like dual casting cost. I mean, like just as in like two blue, 2 black, 2 whatever. That's not a big deal, but
So they're probably going to have each of their color pie chart like themes. I'm sure blue's going to have a lot of like spells and counter spells. Red will probably be pretty aggressive with burn. Green will be probably big monsters. Black will be a lot of just ass, fucking awful things. And then so white will just be probably like little 1/2 flyers all day long,
gaining life.
and gaining life.
Well, has anybody, I mean, even...
I
I haven't actually looked at any of the spoilers except for the blue one.
I have all the planeswalkers up right now that I can see that are spoiled.
But I mean, I can only imagine if they're going to make a commander deck of a monocolored deck, it's going to to be something along those.
Would you guys want me to
color
run through the
pie.
planeswalkers at all?
Yeah, run through the Planeswalkers, actually.
Okay. We got a green one called Freyalis, Lana Wake's Fury.
Mana
Plus,
Wars.
what's that?
Mana Wars. Fury.
Yeah, Mana Wars.
Man of War?
Lana Wars Fury.
I like that
not,
name,
not Land of Lakes like the
Land,
butter.
yeah, Land of
Land. Or what is it? Land Lakes?
Yeah. So all the planeswalkers on the bottom say this planeswalker can be used as your commander. So that's one of the things that we're not saying that you can just use any planeswalker. They're specific. And it's the first time they've done it. Maybe we mentioned that. Maybe we did. Anyways, +2 for this green chick. Put a 1/1 green elf druid creature token onto the battlefield with tap, add green mana to your mana pool. So put an elfish mystic on the battlefield, basically. -2, destroy target artifact or enchantment. -6 is their ultimate. Draw a card for each green creature you control. So the ultimate's not crazy. You know what I mean? It's not like everyone sacrifices their permanents and blah blah blah. It's something that's
They
fun.
made it pretty fair.
Yeah, made it fair.
They kind of dulled down a little
Which
bit.
is
just
fine.
Yeah, which is
you want that for this.
Yeah.
The black one is what? The fuck? What the fuck is going on?
We were looking at the Titiana,
Yeah.
protector of Argoth, and the way her legs are splayed open was just. And then
I had to do a double take real quick.
for a second, I thought that red thing was something else.
Yeah,
The picture.
this is like this is a red object.
Yeah, she is.
Out there.
She's gonna be cranky. Period blood. That was the joke. Anyways.
If you didn't quite get it.
So go on, please.
Sorry about that.
You don't want to earn your Red Wings on that one, huh?
Our 14-year-old selves are.
Yeah,
Resurgent.
I do see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying. Yeah, a little bit of red down there. That's not a planeswalker though. Luckily. So we have that for the green one. Then we have Ob Nixilis, which you've heard that name, I'm guessing, in previous.
Lion demon.
Yeah. So, but this is a human, I guess, some kind of just a dude.
He has a helmet that has like the same head form as the demon, so it's kind of like I don't know what. They're
Maybe
trying
that's
to
the
do
whole
there.
thing. I don't know. It's weird. So +2, each opponent loses 1 life. You gain life equal to. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. -2 is put a 5/5 black demon creature token onto the with flying onto the battlefield. Lose 2 life. -8, you get an emblem with pay 2, pay a white colorless and a swamp. Sacrifice a creature, you gain X life and draw X cards, where X is the sacrificed creature's power. Then we have... So that's 2, then we have a third one. That's the only thing that's spoiled so far is the Teferi. He was spoiled like months ago.
I think he was the first one of the first ones spoiled.
Absolutely. So +1, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one into your hand, and then one on the bottom of your library. -1, untap up to 4 target permanents. -10, you get an emblem with you may activate loyalty abilities of planeswalkers you control on any player's turn at any time you can cast an instant. Ooh, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how significant that's going to be, but I think that's pretty sick. I mean, that's pretty sick, right? I don't know. The thing is, he's going to be the planeswalker you're playing. You could probably have others in your deck. That's fine too. But really, so that if you want to look at just him, then you're going to untap permanents as like a trick, basically, and then you get to like look at the top 2 cards as a trick. I don't know. That's kind of strange, but that's him. You could put in any mono blue colored planeswalkers like Jace's and all that stuff, but those planeswalkers are not that tricky. So for you to activate any ability as an instant, I don't know. It's not a big deal.
I want to talk about Reef Worm. This motherfucker looks fucking bad. It looks like a pain in the ass.
Okay, is this the one, the O1?
The O1.
Okay, I retweeted this on Twitter yesterday because I was like, what the fuck is this? Badass.
I want to buy the blue deck just for this guy. So he is an O1 for 3 and a blue. Creature worm.
Perfect. O1s for 4 is all the rage.
Yeah,
right now.
that is amazing. When Reform dies, put a 3/3 blue fish creature token on the battlefield with. When this creature dies, put a 6/6 blue whale creature token on the battlefield with. When this creature dies, put a 9/9 Kraken creature token on the battlefield.
When this creature dies, all opponents sacrifice everything you win the game.
I thought a destroy creature card on your own card.
I thought of... Fuck, what's that Pokemon that all it does is splash until you evolve him?
Magikarp.
Magikarp! I immediately thought of him. Like, he's just this piece of shit until...
Epic Gyarados comes out and eats your fucking face off.
9/9 Gyarados. There you go at the end. That'd be sick. They should change the text. That should be better.
So, but this... I mean, unless you, like, exile it or some sort of, like, D-sphere or something, like, this is going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, no, it really will, because you just get to just jump block everything.
Yeah, just keep going. So.
Jump block until you win.
And it has some cool art, so...
Yeah, other than that, I mean, there's a few other sweet, like, mythic rares that have been spoiled, but
I'm sure there'll be more
nothing,
fucking crazy things going to be coming in the future.
Like, there's a white one it's a 4/4 for 4, mono white. First strike, pay 5, attacking creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of attacking creatures. So it's pretty simple. That's white in a nutshell right there. So that's nothing crazy, but it probably will win you a game, you know?
There's a mechanic called Lieutenant, and this happens to be on a white 3/3 flyer for 2 white. It's a creature angel. As long as you control your commander, so I'm guessing if your commander's on the field, this creature gets +2/+2, and creatures you control have vigilance. Huh. So it's like a cool little mechanic bonus, just for commander.
Right-hand man's out there with you.
Yeah. And then there's some card that's in German, which I don't speak German. Something about Wiener Schnitzel? I don't fucking know. Oh, here it is.
Mercedes-Benz is best brand of car company.
V-Dub in the house.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a cycle, like the green one, or the black one is, as long as you control your commander, it gets +2/+2, and has, whenever this thing deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. So it looks like they're introducing a mechanic into this.
Which is fun. I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that they're supporting the commander format. That's
I like
really
that
fun.
they put them out every year. Because with the pre-constructed ones, like, we generally keep them as they come, like right out of the box.
We have so far.
Yeah.
And we played the shit out of 2013.
Yeah.
You know, that was a lot of fun to have a 4-player commander session
just
going
because,
on.
You know, we don't want that whole one person puts $500 in and then they're no fun to play against. So we just keep them as they are out of the box and we play them against one another and it's fun. So I don't know if I'm going to actually do this with this one. I might keep my other one as it was, but I might fuck around with this one a little bit.
Okay, fair
I'm
enough.
excited to get one of these. I held off on getting one of the older ones because it seems like we hadn't played Commander too much.
Yeah.
Since me joining and hanging out with you guys, and so I was like, and I knew they're coming out with another set, so I was like, I'm gonna wait out to this one. I don't know. I'm excited to get the black one. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that one out. So I'm excited to play it.
Hell yeah.
I think it's also interesting that Wizards actually goes through the committee that oversees Commander and asks their permission on, do you think this is going to work out for what you guys are trying to do?
Well,
and they actually go about it. It's like, oh, that's,
Yeah,
that's
there
interesting to
are
me.
cards that are banned in Commander.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
technically
I didn't
they're
know that.
not really banned because you can play however you want. But if you go through the EDH committee or whatever it is, they're actually a website that has cards that are banned in
No shit.
Commander.
So they banned one that just rotated out. It was that
Commanders and
green
stuff.
one that...
Deathrite Shaman?
no, when you enter the battlefield, you destroy target permanent, and then you go get a land. It was one of the cycles from Ravnica. But anyways, people were like flashing it in and out, and then just destroying your whole board.
Yeah.
So they said, nope, gotta go.
Yeah, especially with that because like others in Commander, artifacts and enchantments play a big role in Commander in most Commander decks.
Yeah, I think so. I think like even just like
Just artifacts, just the
and
Soul
shit
Ring
like that,
alone is destroying someone's Soul Ring already is just like huge.
It is. There's
Like
a lot of
blowing out their O-ring.
Yeah, blowing out the whole ring.
there are a ton of fun artifacts in Commander. Like a lot, just tons of like, I don't know what to do. My hand is empty. Let's just like activate this artifact to see what happens. You know, like they like let you look at the top 5 cards and whatever something happens. I don't know. There's all kinds of fun stuff that goes on.
I like Commander. I've mentioned it because I like to build tribal shit, but also because you do get to assemble like these pretty awesome like combo-y type of shit. You know, it's not super overpowered, but you do get to, okay, I activate this, and that goes off, and then I get 20 1/1s, and I sacrifice all those 20 1/1s to my commander, and then I hit you for $1 million. Like, it's fun.
Okay, you know what? That's funny though because I played against his stock Commander 2013 deck with my proxied Sliver deck.
I
I built-
had the
What's that? It's the red black.
red, black, green.
Red, black,
I can't
green.
I can't think of the name.
But the commander is like a flyer that when you sacrifice, you can
Way to
sacrifice.
cut him
any
off to say that.
You can sack any number of creatures, and for each creature you sack, it gets +1/+0 till end of turn. And I built up this board presence, right, with all these ground guys. Where I had like 10 slivers on the board, and so everything had first strike, vigilance, indestructible, fucking. I don't even know. Like every rule that Magic has, anything, any effect that Magic can do. And the thing is, I had no flyers. And so he was let me do my thing, play solitaire for a little bit. And he's like, okay, I'm just going to sacrifice my board to swing for game. I'm like, God damn it! Like you had you had a bunch of little 0-1 tokens to sack, but all he had his commander and like a 3/3.
The commander's Prosh, and then it basically gains fire breathing +1/+0 until end of turn when
Right.
you sack a creature. No mana, so I can just sack all day long.
Yes, exactly. It was one of those things in my mind. I'm like, I don't know.
Son of a bitch!
I was thinking, I'm like, when are you going to concede? Because look at my board. My board is stupid. And then he just like, yeah, that's great. And I win. God damn it!
And so, also, in case you don't too familiar with Commander,
Right, this is important.
if your commander does 21 points of damage, you automatically win.
Oh, really?
Because each person starts out with 40 health instead of 20, but regardless, if a commander does 21 damage to you,
Right, and then
you lose.
there's no way to like gain life in that setting. Like,
Yeah.
there's 21
It's
damage
like
no matter
infect.
what.
Yeah, it's like
It's like
that's
insect.
a good analogy. So
Charlie horse.
I don't even want to segue into this. I don't even want to try like set it up in my stupid way. I just want to actually read what's on the paper in front of me.
Who wrote that?
Cheater Pumpkin Eater is written down on this paper.
That's our topic. Our topic is Cheater Pumpkin Eater.
Thank you. Don't ever let me write the show notes again.
Especially if you plan on reading the actual notes on the paper.
Yeah. So we're not gonna like jump too far into this, but it's worth mentioning because it is something that's big and
Fucking rampant.
Magic right now. Is that somebody at I think it was a Star City Open or something, They won both the standard and the modern event, I want to say.
Same weekend, right?
Yeah, same weekend. And people had been kind of like, wow, every time I played against that guy, like I had to mulligan like a lot. Like I had no lands.
Yeah, they were like mulliganing down to 4.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases.
And then some other people noticed, like when this guy was shuffling, that he would kind of glance down at the opponent's deck as he was shuffling it, which
real
is
quick. He was
real
so
quick.
sly about it.
And that's generally frowned upon, just because, especially if it's game one, you get information about your opponent's deck because you don't know what deck you're going up against. But even if he's not like. Even if he wasn't doing what he was doing and just straight up looking, you still get information because based on like
no idea until they start playing.
This deck looks like it's going to be really slow, and then I pull my hand. Oh, this hand is pretty fast. I'm going to keep this hand because he has a slow deck. But if he was just doing that, that's still like dickish. But what he was doing, I'm not sure if there's a name for it or not. But what he was doing as he was shuffling. He would look down at the bottom card, and he would see a non-land card. And as he was like straightening the deck out, he would move the back card to the front, and then he would shuffle, but shuffle in a way to where that card in the front was not affected. So it would stay in the front. And then he would repeat to where he would see a non-land card on the bottom, move it to the front, shuffle. The first two aren't disturbed at all. So basically, he would give you a no land hand. You'd mulligan. He'd do it again, mulligan.
But they do it again. The next time he give you all lands.
Yeah,
and so
all land.
Change it up to make you go, what the fuck's going on? Without really looking at him.
Yeah. So
Smart guy.
and
Asshole.
he did it on camera, like the balls, the big fat dirty fucking balls of this guy. Do it on camera, and it's like. I haven't like studied the footage,
I watched him do it,
and I'm not like a judge.
And I saw exactly. He would shuffle like on the side of him. He would like not do it right in front of him.
He would try to keep it off the camera.
He'd
Like
shuffle
just,
to the
just
right,
the edge of the camera.
His head would be like perked up, like chin
Looking
up,
away, yeah.
and then he would just take a glance. But he would do it in a way that's like, look what I'm doing. Look at me not looking at your cards.
Yeah.
There's no
he was
chance
trying to
of
show
looking,
off like that instead of just having it in front of him and just doing it and looking at his opponent. It was weird.
Very practiced, obviously.
Oh yeah, and you didn't notice him moving that first card to the front.
No, I didn't. When I was watching it, I didn't really notice that. I know he was doing
noticed
it,
like
but I
a
didn't
stack
really
of
notice
like 6 or so wouldn't ever move. Like you could kind of see that the ones palmed in his hand there, he would shuffle over the top into it, and those ones wouldn't move. Like you see the rest of the cards ruffle out, and those ones wouldn't move that he was stacking. If you look at it again, you can see it if you actually look for that.
So he got a fuck. What
So
was it?
2018.
Yeah, it was like a 4-year ban or something like that. Because Wizards looked into it and
And it's not his first time cheating.
and they identified that yes, he was cheating, and you're going to be banned.
So what is he then? He's cheater, pumpkin.
Yeah,
You only have cheater, pumpkin eater.
Well,
We ran out of
It's
room.
my
implied.
hand got tired. I don't know.
That cheater word's too long to spell out.
and this guy is like a fucking dick. I don't even know this fucking cocksucker's name. But he like tweeted or Facebooked some message like, "Oh man, like the fucking
Dude, it was like a 12-year-old's message.
I know,
It was
right?
So funny.
It was like, okay, have you ever had a friend or somebody where they don't like they get way too upset like when you're joking around and they like stutter and like go overboard when you're just trying to like so what, you're the butt of the joke, just take it and
let it-
laugh
and then talk
you know?
shit afterwards.
But-
super
but-
defensive.
Yeah, this guy was like, yeah, well, it's not like, rapists and killers get like, they don't even get this long of a sentence, and I can't even play Magic because, and it was like spelt all weird and words,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
uppercase, lowercase, like you're fucking junior high.
no punctuation. Like it went on for like whatever, like 300 words of just like one sentence.
I really wish I could find it because it was just so dumb. I was like, this can't be him.
This guy-
If you get caught cheating, you just kind of like, well, I fucked up. You caught me, and you shut the
yeah,
fuck up.
I apologize. I'll be back in 4 years. The end.
Yeah, you don't like come back and like, well, this is dumb. You're fucking dumb. Everybody's dumb, and it's not like I raped your mom. Just fuck. I just cheated you out of thousands of dollars, whatever. So
This guy won Player of the Year a few years back by doing all kinds of different cheats like this.
Really?
Between the mulliganing and he'd play whatever cards where you're able to like play a second land on the turn, but he'd play 3 lands on that turn and just kind of play it through, and he'd convince his opponent that he did the turn right. Like there's a clip that's like 3 minutes long. There's a guy recording the match. He's like, "How do you have 6 lands on turn 2?"
Are you talking about Bertoncini? That guy?
I don't remember the name, but it's the same guy. It's the same guy that just got caught.
Okay.
I was looking at videos on this guy, and this is another way he was doing it. It's just like you should have 5 lands based on the card he just played, and he's got 6. And the way he did it so quick, and he got the other guy defending him. Like, no, he's good with 6 lands. Like, this guy's been cheating for years, habitually, nonstop. He won Player of the Year by cheating.
How bad would you feel if you made the top 8, or if you didn't make the top 8 for that matter, and it was based on this guy? You had your one shot.
Man.
You just missed the top 8.
Or something
You came
like
in
that.
second place to him. Like,
It's your first top 8, you're trying so hard, and you're set up against him like the first
Hands are
round or
all
whatever.
sweaty. Mom's
And you're
spaghetti.
just...
How dare you?
oh my
We got one shot.
End of the podcast.
That's not
But
right.
yeah, I agree. I would feel bad.
Yeah, but I agree. Yeah, I got clammy too.
So there's apparently this other guy called something Bertoncini, but they call him Bertoncini, which is just
So
funny.
simple.
But-
Talking about a 4th grader comeback.
Who's the 12-year-old man?
But apparently, I don't know. Like, he's notorious. Like, he already got banned and he came back, and so people just like, hey, he's a fucking cheater. And they're still like, he does questionable things where it's like, oh, is it sloppy play? Or is he trying to get one over on you? Like, he'll hide one land behind one of his other lands. Kind of put it on top. So he's like representing, a certain spell, and then he taps. And you're like, you only had 3. He's like, no, I had 4. It's right here. And he's like, well, fuck, I wouldn't have made that play if you weren't like, And he also, Brainstorm is like you draw 3 cards, put 2 in your graveyard. And so there's this big complicated stack, and he did Brainstorm on top of it all, pulled the 3 cards, and then started like asking all these questions. Oh, wait, so what's on the stack? So if I do that, and like,
Confusing like the judge or something like that?
No, confusing
The
his
player.
opponent.
Yeah, because he wouldn't even notice he was cheating.
And you keep the 3 cards.
And then, okay, that resolves, and then the stack resolves, and he never discarded his 2 cards. And it's like, sure, like, if you weren't known as a cheating fuck, like, you might be like, oh, fuck, maybe he just totally made a mistake. It was a complicated game state, and he was caught up thinking about something else and just never put him back, But when you're known for doing shit like this, then it's like, well, yeah, you're probably an asshole. So
I think we watched the same videos about
Yeah.
that kind of shit, and the same thing. He only had 2 like Kier something or other in his main deck, and he's playing it, and that was his only chance of win condition against this guy. The guy ended up winning overall, so it ended up working out fine. But he was doing the same thing. Like, he played the one, it got like banished or whatever. Played the second one, and that got killed off. And he went to put it towards his graveyard. But as he asked the questions, the guy started looking down at his graveyard over on his graveyard. He pulls that back over to his hand and never puts it in the graveyard. And he didn't have his graveyard splayed out, so it just looked at it stacked on top, which he just had that same card there. So the guy never realized that he did not have another one. He just has that card again, plays it right after. And the announcer even blows right over. He goes, "Hey, doesn't he only have 2 of those in his deck? Because that's his 3rd one." And they just kind of keep talking. Like, they kind of notice it, but then they kind of don't realize what's going on. And luckily, the other guy actually won still anyway. So it didn't. But it's just like, dude, you're a fucking asshole.
So hopefully, like, if you're going to your Friday Night Magic, hopefully nobody's going to be, like, cheating at Friday Night Magic. Like, that's, like, super casual, super, like...
You'd probably be surprised.
Yeah, I'm sure people do it. I'm sure
There's
people...
some people out
How
there.
do you get all this training?
Yeah, exactly. That's the training ground. But I'm sure people jack cards and try and cheat and all that stuff. But so just like keep your eye out for it, and a lot of other podcasts have been suggesting like
Accuse everybody.
Don't be a cheater.
blatantly accuse everybody with no evidence and get very
Get loud and angry.
yeah.
Flip the
Slide a
table,
token
flip
onto
them
their
off.
side, call them over and say, hey, what the fuck?
So, but you can always call a judge over and just pull the judge aside and be like, hey, I think fuckface over here is cheating, or, something's fishy over here, would you mind checking it out? And so that's the best way to do it instead of making a scene or just beating his ass in the parking lot afterwards. Or
Well, that's always.
yeah, I mean, that's my first thought, but usually I, don't do that.
You should edit this in and how not to be an asshole.
Yeah,
Because-
how not to be a dick.
That's what it is. Okay.
Don't cheat. Specifically, you, Burton Cheaty. Nah, I just love saying it. It's like so perfect. You know what I mean?
Fourth grade of the group, right? The 12-year-olds.
Yeah, you smile every time you
It's
say
just
it.
good. It's good. It's like it fits. Like he was meant.
Read that line again.
He
real
was
quick.
meant to cheat just so they could give him that name.
Just for that nickname.
Yeah.
Burton Cheaty, the pumpkin eater.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, this is the point in the show where me, Hot Sauce, and Crow like to talk about the decks that we built. And Reich over here just sits there and shakes his head. Oh, yeah, those cards are great.
I still haven't bought a booster box.
I'm still crying over Domri Rod.
I still have. I think I say I have a moment of silence every night. Rotating out.
You have like a shrine with like
Yeah.
the fucking Catholic big tall candles.
Yeah, just burning candles every night.
Oh god, I have a
On the,
horrible
on the
story.
anniversary of
Domino's
its
on
purchase.
some of
I have
those.
a horrible story on one of those candles. I don't know if it's even okay to put on here.
Dude, I'm surprised how much I have to cut. Like what we talk about, the horrible shit. Like I have to cut a lot of stuff. 'Cause,
You're
like,
very horrible people.
Yeah.
You want to get back to Jews?
I had to cut a lot of Jew hate out of the last
I know, it was
podcast.
so dwindled down at the end. I was like, oh man, like that was pretty funny, and then it just turned into like
what?
Jews tip with basic
All right, so if we get 5 comments requesting the Jew, unedited version, uncut.
Yeah, and we're not racist or prejudiced. We'll make fun of anybody.
damn, it's funny.
You choose,
Yeah, nobody is safe.
you choose it, we'll slam it. So, Reich here actually put together a deck. I'm not sure if it's his optimum deck.
It's not optimum.
So, but he is willing to tell you about it. He's going to let you in to his thought process of which website he went
I
to.
thought you were going to say he was going to let you into his asshole.
Yeah.
Well, you keep pouring us water, you can pretty much get anywhere you want. So take it away, Reich.
gotta
Water
pay.
or Mountain Dew today, sir?
So I did finally
better
get a
basic
standard
brand, you
constructed deck together. I am playing red green. I was messing with Teamer a lot on Cockatrice for a couple, like maybe 4 or 5 days, trying to get red, green, blue to work. But I just ended up scrapping blue, the splash of blue altogether.
Even Nickelback, not enough.
why I asked him too.
The Savage Nickelback, I mean, he plays a mean guitar, but he just didn't make the cut.
He's
I
a
mean,
one-hit wonder.
He was a very big one-hit wonder. I mean, he's not. I mean, whatever next set brings, he'll probably if blue, green, red, or Teamer colors have any good support in the next set, then I will definitely switch back to Teamer colors. But for right now, like the Nickelback is the only card worth having the blue for, unless you're going to be playing like a more control-y, like I'm going to do Disdainful Strobe.
Put
or
out
whatever
one
that
big
is.
threat and protect it.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah. I don't want to be more of a tempo deck. I want to be a mid-range, beat-down kind of monsters deck. So red green kind of fits that bill for me.
You know, though,
Green is not even fucking mid-range. Turn
The
3,
thing
you're
is-
fucking being an asshole.
Yeah.
Caryatid and the Rattleclaw can both get you that blue without you having to have
Yeah,
splash
so you
shit.
don't have to have. I mean, you have a lot of options to get the mana, but only things that through my playtesting, the only card that I wanted was the Savage Knuckleblade, and then I had what's the 6-drop? It's a 6/6 hexproof or the 7-drop.
Sagu Mauler.
The Sagu Mauler. I
That
had
thing's a beast,
a
though.
1 or 2 of those as my top end. But I mean, those are the only 2 cards in Teamer colors. I was running like Disdainful Strokes or the Counter Magic, and I was running some of the charms.
It didn't feel right.
And it just didn't. It didn't mesh with me. I couldn't see myself like holding up that mana to be like, oh, I'm gonna I'm going to save this mana this turn, so that next turn I can counter something from him.
You don't save mana. You
Or
are
like,
not.
I'm going to save this 3 mana, so I have to make him pay 2 more mana to cast this spell. No, that's not me. I'm like, I want to use this mana like now. I want to be on curve. I want to be above curve. And I want to be playing fat monsters, so I went straight back to red-green. And so I took I knew I was going to play the red-green shell. I knew I was going to play 4 Coursers, 4 Sylvan Caryatids, 4 Elvish Mystics, like 3 to 4 Pelucranoses, probably 4 Storm Breaths, because Storm Breath is bonkers. And then I just kind of took that shell, and I was hoping to get...
Added Sarkhan.
Yeah. Sarkhan made an appearance. At first, I didn't really care for Sarkhan and Storm Breath in the same deck, but the more that I thought about it, just to have... Since we lost Domri, and I lost the ability to fight my big creatures.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
I heard you choke up when you said that. I can't even say his name.
Yeah,
10 seconds of silence, please.
it's so hard to think he's not here right now.
He's such a good lover.
God, I miss him so much.
Domri Raid.
But yeah, since Domri is no longer in the picture, not being able to have spot removal or anything like that to be able to fight my Pelucranos or fight my Storm Breath into another creature without having to play a completely separate sorcery spell or whatever else, I actually put Sarkhans in. So I'm running 2 Sarkhans only, just for right now. I don't know if the number, like 4 Storm Breaths and 2 Sarkhans is good, or like a even mix of like 4 and 4. But he is really good. He does have the ability to beat in with his +1 and the -3, doing 4 damage to target creature. It is really nice, especially in this
That's pretty
meta.
relevant. I think that I see a lot of people bring him out and then -3 and then +1 after that.
Yeah.
It's like what I see all the time.
Yeah, you can have a board state where you can protect your Sarkhan and be able to -3 him without, even if you don't have the board state, still -3 him, getting a threat like Rabble Master off the board, even if he dies on the swing back. I mean, that's still, in my eyes, that's a win. As long as Rabble Master is such an omnipresent card that's out there right now, he's so oppressive. Especially if they're able to get 1 or 2 of them out on the board.
You were definitely able to do that against me more than once. You used it against my butcher also. It was like,
so I mean, the 4 damage is a good thing, except against the mirror matches where Pelucranos is out there and he's out proud and 5/5. He's out there, So
you have to be proud.
no, he doesn't have to be proud
He's
at all.
legendary and he's proud.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm so far I've only had it a few times to play this deck. I played a little bit on the Cockatrice, and so far it's been an all-star. The only trouble matchup that I have is the mirror matchups, and then the Rabble Red decks where they come at you really quick. If you can't get your mana base out with Elvish Mystics and then the Sylvan Caryatids, they kind of run over you real quick. But I mean, just the other kind of tech stuff in this deck is a one of a Hornet Queen, just because Hornet Queen's such a good green card, and if you're playing green, having 1 or 2 of these cards as your top end is just amazing because it's able to trade with pretty much everything. And then also an Ashcloud Phoenix I'm running a one of in the main deck.
And you weren't a fan of him originally.
When I first saw Ashcloud Phoenix, I actually pulled him in one of our pre-releases. The pre-release went to. I played him in the pre-release. He's not... I wouldn't say he's like an all-star unlimited. He's good, but I think he shines more in Constructed now since he's such an asshole to deal with. Just for the fact that your opponent has to waste either 2 removal spells or has to trade. Usually he can trade with something, and then they have to use an additional removal spell. So just being able to get that tempo play with having them use up, 6 mana or whatever it takes for them to remove it. Just having that ability is so good, and then their opponent losing 2 life and you losing 2 life is just gravy on top. Especially when you're a beat down deck where you're able to get that damage through early enough, where that 2 damage will definitely offset them more than it offsets you, which is really nice. And then I'm running Crater's Claw, which I think is the greatest sorcery spell in the format right now. Just having the ferocious ability with all your big creatures able to get ferocious off for an additional 2 damage of whatever damage you're already dealing from the X spell.
I thought about
awesome.
something. You can't Savage Knuckleblade. You can't turn 2 that guy without Mana Confluence. You can't get 3 different colors because you need the green to bring out the Mystic.
Yeah,
and that means you have a green and a green. It's just one of those things that, for a deck like that, now I feel like a 3-drop doesn't fit in there because that 3-drop is so important for that ramp deck.
Yeah.
You want that Courser on turn 2 or Domri or something like that. Now that Savage has to come out on turn 3.
Yeah, for a 3-drop,
I feel like it's a big setback for that guy.
When I was playing the Teamer colors and I was playing the Savage Blade or the Knuckle Blade, I wasn't playing him as a 3-drop so much. I was holding off. Well, I mean, he would come out on turn 3, but that's because I had 4 mana to ramp him into, and I would play him on turn 3 with the 4 mana and haste. I would never play him as just a 3/3, on turn 3 as just a non-hasted guy. I would always hold him until I could play him with haste, because a lot of times now people expect them to come out with haste, but even if you're just playing from 3 mana, he's still good. But the mana, getting all 3 colors on turn 2 is near impossible.
I find it's really hard with like the 3-colored decks when you play cards like that, where it requires 3 colors. You have to turn your deck into a deck that is 1 turn behind because of all the tap lands that need to come in.
Yeah. I mean, I think Teamer would have really shined if we had more aggressive like 2-drops in that color or in red-green. If red-green had like Flint Hoof Boar or something of that nature, I think Teamer would probably shine a little more.
What is that guy? What is that?
The Flint Hoof Boar is from, I think it's M13. Essentially, he's a 2-mana, either a 2/2 or a 3/3. And if you have a mountain on the board, he gets a +1/+1 in haste.
Yeah, that's good.
So he was an amazing 2-drop, and without kind of that aggressive strategy, Teamer wants to play more like top end, control, tempo, mid range kind of guys. But I mean, right now, Teamer's just not working for me. I'm sure there's some decks out there that are probably playing the red, green, blue colors and doing okay. But I think for me right now, in my play style, I'm more of a straight red, green mid range. And then I'm playing 4 lightning strikes just for the getting the reach in there and being able to remove. Like Rabble Master's like number 1 on my radar right now. Like that's the card that you need to beat. That and Siege Rhino. And this deck actually deals with Abzan pretty well, just with having Stormbreath Dragon, being able to dodge like Utter End and stuff like that, and then having the big creatures to be able to deal with Siege Rhino. And then
doesn't get around Crackling Doom though.
Doesn't get around Crackling Doom. No.
That Doom though.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, a lot of people don't. I mean, it's becoming a card that people play now.
I've seen 4 ofs in the Mardu mid-range deck.
Yeah, Mardu's a little bit of a challenge, but Abzan's not so bad for the red-green. But I mean, the sideboard's always there for the mono red, like Rabble Master decks and everything like that. But I'm really liking this deck so far, and I do take back all the bad things I said about Sarkhan the Dragon Master, because he, in a Stormbreath Dragon deck, he is pretty good.
Sound like heavy meta right now.
I take it back.
This card sucks. Oh, but it's the best now.
Oh, and Ashclad Phoenix too. But I'm still in the wall. I kind of want to play like the Flame Wreath Phoenix or whatever it is.
Don't do it
with the tribute. But I mean, he's just the ability to have that like almost that automatic regenerate. If you're not having like no other mana to spend it on, just be able to flip him back over. That next turn is really nice.
The Ash Cloud is kind of like a shitty voice of Resurgence, to where if you deal with him, like I always, because I played in my Mardu, I always hardcast him. I never play him as a
morph.
Yeah.
Because if you kill the morph, then he's fucking dead to the graveyard, never coming back.
Plus, if you play him as a morph, you have to wait till 6 mana.
Yeah,
like, that's no fun.
Yeah, you play him on 4. They have to, like you said, they have to spend a removal. Okay, now he's just a 2/2. They have to spend another removal, just like with voice, except obviously voice is way better.
Oh, voice is tremendous.
But it's like the 4/1, like you get 4 power, you get to trade with damn near whatever you want.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You can trade with Stormbreath.
Yeah, Butcher the Horde.
Butcher. No, Butcher.
No, that's 5/4. That's a sweet trade.
You trade with the Mantis.
Yeah, I mean, this
just comes back.
I think this deck is well positioned when Abzan's out there rampant right now. I want to see how it's going to be, you know, if it's against like more of the like Jeskai aggro. Jeskai probably run over it pretty easily because it's so fast. But I mean, it's a good deck. Also, the other card that I really like is the Genesis Hydra. I was always a fan of this when it first came out in M15 when it was spoiled. But I really like this card just for the advantage. It almost reminds me of like when it works. I mean, it may not always hit for when you want it to hit, but when it does hit, it feels almost like you're playing the Burning Tree Emissaries, where you're getting an additional, like say if you have 2 emissaries in your hand, you can play 1 emissary and bring out another one for free pretty much. When it hits, and it's really nice.
Genesis Hydra always overperform. I don't think I've missed once. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that there's, the odds are you have to miss at some time.
Well, the way
but
the way that I think about it is that it says permanent,
Exactly.
not creature. That's
Exactly.
the big part of that.
So,
Planeswalker, bring out a banishing light, or I don't know, whatever the hell you can do. It's like that's a lot of value.
dependent on how you build your deck, but you cast him for, let's say, X is 5, so 7. He's a 7/7, and you also get to play for free one of your 5 drops or 4 drops or fuck it.
Well, he's a
3
5/5.
drop.
He's not 7/7.
That's what I meant to say. But you get 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, the only thing with the Genesis Hydra, I feel like in this deck, I'm kind of holding off, because I play the Hornet Queen, and I want to get 9 mana or whatever it is, so I can bring him out as a 7/7, and then have that chance to hit Hornet Queen, which brings out the additional 1/1 Death Touchers. But
It's Christmas Land, but the thing is with mono green ramp or green ramp,
it's possible. Yeah, I'm playing one of a Nykthos, so I mean it can happen. But I mean, I feel like I'm always kind of reserved on the Genesis Hydra just a little bit to get I just want one more extra mana. If I can just get one more, I could probably hit Pelucranos or something like that. But I mean, it's still, even at playing it as a 2/2 and be able to hit another Sylvian Caryatid or something like that, it's still pretty good.
So I saw what's his name, Chris Van Meter play this list basically, and it had the Phoenixes and all that stuff in it, or whatever. And yeah, it was fucking doing work, man.
Yeah, it's red green. I mean, it's definitely. We'll see how the meta shifts as the new sets come out, but I mean, it's pretty good. Pretty good for right now. I mean, there's so many different decks out there that are viable. It's crazy. It's cool.
Yeah, the meta's still
Really
being flushed
exciting.
out.
I know we only have 5 sets to play with. I mean, we have the 3 from
Theros.
the 3 from Theros, and then M15 and this.
Yeah.
How much better is it going to get? Everything is really powerful. There's a lot of options, like you said. I mean, yeah, it's fantastic.
But yeah, I think red green is definitely it's there for a little while at least.
Well, it's still in contention.
Yeah, I mean it's I wouldn't say it's super tier 1, but it's up there, and it'll probably stay there
Tier 1
for a little while.
It sees top 8.
Yeah, it'll see some top 8 play for sure. But I just want to see Teamer. I want some Teamer love. But
Didn't Red Green win one of the SCGs? It went up against Mono Red.
I think it topped 8.
Yeah, I think it top 4.
It did top 4. I don't even know what they're playing.
He lost to the blue-black control guy who came in second, so he was top 4.
I know that
We'll look it up.
regardless, I do remember seeing, in the last Star City or whatever the shit it was, or TCG or whatever the crap it was, they had Mardu midrange in the top 8, I think 3 times, and they had Teamer and Red Green in the top 8, I think also 3 times. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Doing work.
Red green is here, baby.
Mardu mid-range, I was pumped for that.
Mardu, fuck you.
Speaking of top 8 decks, what do you have, Hot Sauce?
What, do I have a top 8 deck now?
I don't know.
Well, I have the Abzan, which we've talked about, but yeah,
Right,
you already
right.
passed me that deck, son. There's not a whole lot to talk about because it's not quite what's off the list. Not the other one, actually. Sorry. It's not quite what's off the list. I kind of just once again built what I have. I didn't actually have to buy any cards at all to make this. I opened them up from the boosters and the booster box and all that stuff. So I'm playing a Jeskai. I don't want to say it's really a tempo deck though. It's like a Jeskai. Is a mid-range a thing? I don't know. It does a lot of beatdown. You know what I mean? Besides having a lot of I don't know, dealing damage bullshit. You know what I mean?
It's like one of those subgenres of metal. It's no, that's not hardcore. That's that's like death metal,
That's
sludge,
speed metal.
grunge.
But it's not speed metal. It's death metal. It's not
But it
death
has
metal, it's speed
thrash
metal.
overtones. You know what I mean? So
I'm playing.
why don't you just list off what we
Yeah, I wanted to play a few different cards that I've always had. I had 4 Storm Breaths from what?
Looking at your full art forest there, the pyramid's fucking it in the ass.
Yeah, it is. Actually, it's grabbing hold of the base of it and shoving it right up there. Pretty good. I'm playing 4 Stormbreath Dragons in this deck, and I think that Stormbreath is the finisher for it. Protection from white, blah, blah, blah. We already know all about it. But I've always owned 4. I bought 4 off of eBay, and I was like, okay, I got to play these. Never got around to playing it. I've never cast a Stormbreath until tonight, actually.
Oh, nice.
So, and of course it doesn't work.
Well, Stormbreath
it's
is
ridiculous.
Definitely a player.
So, and I played against Mardu midrange tonight, and having Butcher of the Horde not able to attack because it's white, that's fantastic. And not being able to block, of course, too. So it's a really good finisher. I play Mantis Rider, I play Lightning Strike and Magma Jet and all those standard things. I play 3 of Deflecting Palm, and it's fantastic because, of course, it can finish a game off. It's that counter burn that everyone loves, but it's also something that everyone has to be wary of.
Yeah,
I love that feeling.
You're always playing when you're attacking into it. You're like, oh, does he have it? Does he not? I don't know if I want to go all in right now.
It's one of those decks that you always leave that mana open. You will slow play your hand because you want them to be like, I have Deflecting Palm. Attack me with Butcher. Go ahead and sack both your creatures to give it haste and lifelink. I want you to, because I want to prevent that damage and send it back to your face. If I don't have it, then that's fine too. But I love having everyone go son of a bitch, he's just going to stop it. So people want to slow play their hand and make sure that they have little guys out beating me down, little tokens and Rabble Master and all that kind of stuff. And Rabble Master can't attack because he'll hit me for 4 or 5 or 6, and I'll just block that, or I'll deflect that shit. So it's really fun seeing them just be like, no, we'll keep our Blood-Soaked Champions on the board and whatever else, and nothing else. I don't want to play anything else because you're just going to counter it, or you're going to just deflect the damage when it comes through. So
yeah, it's really good. Especially it's the big creature decks. It's when I'm playing against it, it's okay, I know it's a serious thing, and especially when the health total is already starting to get low, and you're well, if I attack in and monstrous this Pelucranos, am I attacking into death? Am I going to just kill myself?
Yeah, I know. I want Pelucranos to attack me every time now. Come at me, bro. It's awesome. Come at me, bro. Other than that, I'm playing pretty much what you'd imagine the list is going to be with Disdainful Stroke, which is that one that counters something 4 mana or greater in the casting cost, which is fantastic because everything that's going to beat me down is 4 mana or greater, so it hits Butcher, it hits Siege Rhino, which prevents the trigger from Siege Rhino, It hits Planeswalkers, which everything is a 4 mana or a greater Planeswalker right now, basically, except for Ashiok, which, okay, fine, I haven't played a control deck, go ahead and Ashiok it up. So, other than that, I have Banishing Light, 3 copies of that. I have 1 copy of Prognostic Sphinx, which everyone is I want to play that card. That sounds fun, but
I'm really surprised that we don't see from the top 8s I've seen for the control decks, and that they may be playing it now, but I haven't seen the control decks playing this product. I would have thought he would have been.
They're playing Mantis Riders and that Seeker of the Way, the one that the 2/2 that might get lifelink or whatever.
The guy who just came in second is definitely playing.
Oh, is he playing?
Well, that's nice.
Yeah,
but that's such a.
It's a pain. I'm going to have a lot of cards in my hand because I'm playing control, more or less control. And so this thing's going to stay on the board, you know what I mean? Unless you want to wipe out the entire board, or the Crackling Doom, of course, hits it, so that's something to watch out for. I only play 1 Sphinx, but he does work. Scry 3, I scry a ton. There's just tons of stuff in here, a lot of scry lands, and then this guy, and I have Dig Through Time, which will get me through all my cards, 2 dig Through Times. I have 1 Mind Swipe, which is a counter burn, counter target spell unless controller plays X. Mind Swipe deals X damage to that spell's controller. So it's blue, red, and X. So it's sweet that you get to counter their spells and deal damage. That's awesome, but I like that I was able to play Knife, and he had enough mana to pay for X, but I still got to do that damage. And he did pay X. That means that I'm pretty sure he was planning on casting another spell that turn. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead, and you can go ahead and waste your mana and cast this one thing. That's fine. I get to do damage. It affects him no matter what. It'll burn him no matter what, and I want to get his life total down low.
That, and I don't know if you're talking about Deflecting Palm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those just were a pain in the ass.
Yeah, you
because you don't. What do you have? One of them?
Deflecting Palm play 3, but only 1 Mind Swipe.
Okay, so I never see it coming. It's always just out of nowhere. Oh yeah, Deflecting Palm, or oh yeah, counter. It's fuck.
But it's even better if you know it. That's what I mentioned. That it's great when you just look at my open mana and you go, "You fucking asshole."
Yeah.
You're just gonna shut it back to my face.
Even if he doesn't have it, it's oh shit, he has it.
Like Knife sent in his Butcher with haste, sacrificing a guy, knowing that I had Deflecting Palm in because he just wanted to get it out of my hand.
Yeah.
He's just fine, I'll take the 5. I'm just sick of being worried about this card.
Yeah, having to play around it. It's something I did with the control decks that rotated out. It was okay, I'll cast this. I just want to get the fuck out of your hand. Go ahead and counter it or kill it, but I just need to get that shit out of your hand so I can beat you.
Right, exactly.
But unfortunately, that really fucked me over when you did that and you were able to win.
Exactly. So I had that, and then I have like Jeskai Charm and some other fun stuff in there. But the last card I could mention is the Narset Enlightened Master, 6 mana, so it's forever. It's a lot. It takes forever. It's a lot of mana, but it's hexproof. First strike 3/2. Whenever Narset attacks, exile the top 4 cards of your library until end of turn. You may cast non-creature cards exiled with him, her, whatever, until end of turn without paying their mana cost. So, like on our last game, I was able to attack, and before blockers were declared, I looked at my cards, and I was able to pull out a. What the hell was I able to pull out? I think I had like a lightning strike or something like that, right? I was able to. I didn't have it in my hand in the beginning of it, but I was able to cast lightning strike, take out his rebel master, which was going to block, and I swung for 3 damage per game. It was really nice just getting those 4 cards going. Oh, I got my answer. I got the answer. For free. I'm tapped out, and I still was able to cast this bad boy. So it did a lot of work. I know that I'm only playing 1 because it's 6 mana, and that's ridiculous for something. A win condition should not cost 6 mana unless it's going to win the game, like big time. And then you play a few of them, but this is not going to win the game big time. So I'm playing 1 to try it out, and hoping that more of that stuff happens. More of me pulling dig through time with her, or burn spells, or whatever else. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much the deck. It is seeing a lot of top 8 play, a variation of this. And I didn't really build it for that reason. I more or less, just like the Abzan, I built it because I had the cards from opening up a bunch of shit.
See it online in the practice rooms a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, not the exact list, but the same theme idea.
The deck, it like builds itself. Just like Abzan built itself, this also just builds itself. You just play what's available. You play the best stuff available in these colors, and you go, oh shit, this stuff works great, like without much thought. So
I have a somewhat alright deck I'll talk about. I built it on Moto, and it's basically it's a Sultai deck, but I'm just splashing blue.
so it's green and black.
It's green and black, basically. So, of course, green and black. What do you run? You run Thoughtseize. You run Sylvan Caryatid. I do have 1 foil Genesis Hydra.
Ooh,
the digital foils.
My god.
It's funny when people say, like, oh, digital foil. It's like, you're comparing that to a piece of cardboard. They're both worthless. Like, it doesn't.
I'm going to fight you over the table about this. I don't even like seeing the foil. I'm like, I prefer to have the regular digital copy. Absolutely. I don't want to look at the damn foil.
The foil Abzan.
No. In paper, it's sick. Online, I'm like, I don't want to look at your stupid animation.
Looks like somebody spilled like oil on it or something.
It is exactly like that. It's like a video game oil effect. That's what it looks like. Exactly.
Who magnetized my computer screen?
So I'm also running Herald of Torment. I fucking love this guy.
I'm actually going to applaud for that one.
Yeah.
I really like that guy, and I want to see him get played.
I love him. Of course, Downfalls. I'm also running. Basically, this deck wants to go to the long game, but there is stuff in the middle that can help get me there. I have Hornet's Nest also, which is an awesome card. It just stops people from attacking. I
wanted to mention something about that.
Okay.
We talked about it earlier. That there's one sweet thing. It's not in his deck per se, but it's one sweet thing about Hornet's Nest. It's an 0/2 that whenever it's dealt, whatever amount of damage it's dealt, or whatever is dealt to it, you bring out that many 1/1 flying death touchers. So that's why you don't want to attack into it, because you're like, yeah, your guy's going to block it, it's going to die, but now I have to deal with freaking 5 1/1 death touch flying insects. That sucks.
Yeah.
The thing I like is if your board is empty or your board is something that's not threatening for your opponent to attack into, you let them attack, and then you use Court of Calling, which is it's instant speed card that allows you to bring out any creature that you're able to pay for. It's like 3 green and X, and whatever X is, you get to go look through your library, find that converted mana cost, and bring them out, no matter what color or whatever. So anyways, they attack in with their Pelucranos, they attack in with their whatever big ground guy, and you're like, alright, let me go ahead and Court of Calling, let me bring this 0/2 out, and now, sucka, you have to deal with however many
5 1/1s.
You have to deal with 5 1/1s. They go, well, you didn't have anything before, and now I have to deal with death touchers. That's annoying as hell, and nobody is going to see it coming.
Yeah, I do
it's
like
not,
that.
It's not common. I've never seen anyone do it, but in my mind, I think that could be just super. It's a total game turnaround.
You know what I've seen, which is a pain in the ass, is somebody has Hornet's Nest and Pelucranos out, and then they Setessian Tactics. So it's basically a fight card.
Right.
So Pelucranos
Same thing, basically.
fights the Hornet's Nest. It dies. You bring out the 1/1s. Pelucranos still lives, and you didn't even need to interact with them for you to get the 1/1s.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
It's the same thing, though, where you can go ahead and just...
monstrous Pelucranos and do it.
Well, you can tactics just your Hornet's Nest and have him fight whoever else you want on the board, too. Exactly. If you don't have Pelucranos out, it's fine. Go ahead and fight their Stormbreath Dragon. Go ahead and fight whatever. And, your guy dies, but then you get your 1/1s.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you can do that, like, pre-combat or something like that, or whatever, you know what I mean? Or you could, well...
I don't know if it's an instant, I forget.
It's an instant. So you could do it in the middle of combat if you wanted to, I guess.
Yeah, before
cool,
you
declare attackers, cool, let me go ahead and just do this. I'm going to fight one of your dudes or whatever. Great, my guy dies. Okay, now I have all these Deathwitch blockers. Wipe your board out.
I really like Hornet's Nest.
Sweet trick.
If you're
That's even better, because now you can block with the
1/1s.
The 1/1s. And in my Court of Calling instance, combat has to finish for you to get the 1/1. So that's even better.
Yeah. If you're playing a green deck that wants to go to the long game, Hornet's Nest, I'm a fan of. I also have some Boon Satyrs, just in case, flash it in on the Hornet's Nest, so it can actually do damage and still survive and still get the 1/1s.
Yeah, that's too good.
It's dirty.
So it's a 4/4 that can create a lot of tokens. That's cool.
So your 3/3s attacking in. Fuck you. I have a Bow of Nylea. Just because it's a versatile card. It's almost like a mini Planeswalker, almost. Like, it doesn't see a lot of play.
It's got too much text. That's how good
it has a lot of text. You need to, I don't know, something funny.
It worked. That was funny.
So I'm actually just running one of those because it's, you can't dedicate too much room to it. But, there's certain scenarios where I can put the 1/1 counters on the Hornet's Nest or just the gain life or put stuff back in my graveyard.
Are you running tactics in there?
I'm not running tactics because it was like 2 tickets online last time I saw it. And I was like, fuck that. It's a cool little interaction, but I can do without it.
Still, though, I mean, if you don't, I don't know how much. Well, yes, you do have black, so you have all the access to removal, but still, I think that's a pretty good little plan you could do if you were playing against an Abzan deck, something kind of big monstery thing.
Right.
Then you could probably slide in 2 of those things.
Oh yeah,
and
nice little tech.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick.
Nice tech.
Pretty sick.
But just also, like, I can Herald of Torment on the Hornet's Nest. So if a flyer's getting through,
flying 3/5.
Yeah. So that it just creates a very difficult board state for your opponent to get through. I'm also running a Whip. I forget why I put it in there, but it's in there.
Don't matter. It's good. It's all right. Whatever.
It's Whip. Pelucranos, of course. I mean, plain green Pelucranos is good. I'm also running some Reaper of the Wilds. This card, I thought it was going to be so great when it came out. Like, it came out and it's like, okay, it doesn't have a home right now, but once rotation happens, it's going to be fucking Premier. But it just feels a little slow. At 4 mana, there's a lot more stuff to do now with 4 mana, or 5 mana, or 6, depending on what triggers you want open.
So I put that in my Abzan build the very first time I built it. I put one of those guys in there. And I was able to bring it out against Crow, maybe like 3 games, whatever. Did nothing. It just did nothing, honestly. I was never able to... I always wanted to cast stuff, because that's what you want to do when you have big old beaters, whatever. You want to just get your hand empty, and you want to just tap everything down, all your mana down, and so... I didn't want to hold back any of those the mana available for the Hexproof or the Death Touch or whatever.
Yeah,
it didn't do shit for me. I didn't enjoy it at all.
It does all right. Pretty much the reason it's in here is I'm still trying to make it work. I also have another card I'm trying to make work, Indulgent Tormentor. Basically, I mean I side it out if I'm playing.
What is it? I don't even know.
That's the black promo, the 5/3.
Yeah. Pay 3 life, draw a card, yada yada.
Yeah, see, nobody knows what the fuck it is because nobody plays it. I like it unless I'm up against a red deck that has Lightning Strikes. I always side it out. But it just draws out removal, and if you don't remove it, then good shit happens. I also have a Nissa Worldwaker. Just value. It's a good card.
God, Nissa, dude. I need to get like 8 Nissas.
This is, I don't know, I'm Reich, and Nissa's not really that good.
No, this is not good, but I just like it. I just like the card. I don't think I'd ever have a deck that I would play her in, but I just want her. Because she's awesome.
She is.
It's not in
pretty
any of
good.
my
I don't want
decks.
to play with her at all.
Yeah,
but
she's not very good, but I want to play it. I like her.
Just want to flick her beam.
And also, this is a whole deck of just shit I'm trying to make work. I mean, it does all right in the practice rooms. I probably wouldn't take it. I might take it to Friday Night Magic if I had it in paper, but I don't see it like
Bring your laptop.
doing well. Yeah, here's what I want to play. I have two.
Bring a laptop for them to play against
Let's
you.
play Moto, but like in person, like Battleship style, where your laptops are like screens
Yeah,
are touching
exactly.
back to back. You know what I mean?
Hey, bro, you want to play Battleships?
You know, like
Battleships.
And then Moto goes down, and you're like, "What do we do now?" So I have two Garruk Apex Predators. It's a really good card.
How's that working out for you?
If I can get there, it's
Was it
working.
7 mana?
See, I never know if
7
that's
mana.
if it's a good card or not.
For that,
That's
for
expensive.
Right? Is it a good card?
No.
Okay, that's what I don't know. If it's not. I have no idea.
There's a Planeswalker, he doesn't like it, so.
So
Not Domri, goddammit.
all the modes are really good on here. Destroy another target Planeswalker, put a 3/3 black beast with Death Touch. Those are the plus ones. -3 is good if I'm behind. Destroy target creature, you gain
That's
life.
like the -3 is sweet.
This
I
card
like
is
-3
really good except for the mana cost. If it wasn't so costed...
Well, that's why you try and like ramp into it. Like,
yeah, but I mean, even as a finisher, it's not an Elspeth.
but guess what?
It kills Elspeth.
Fuck your Elspeth.
It kills Elspeth, but
because this will destroy it.
but it's not an Elspeth.
Yeah, it's not an Elspeth.
Use your foam axe and bring it with you. Here's my Garrett, go, here's your Planeswalker. Bust the axe out and just smash their card with it real quick.
Like, when I think of a Planeswalker that's like just crazy good, I think of Elspeth. I think of like all these cards that as soon as they hit, it's like, well, this is a dick, and it's hard. You're not going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my dick.
And it's coming for your ear.
Yeah, this is my dick, and it's coming for you.
So yeah, it's not. I mean, it just looks so good, but unfortunately, it's not.
Give me those creamy hamstrings.
And I'm splashing the blue.
Get your fat space ass back.
I'm splashing quotations the blue for Prognostic Sphinx, which it's 3 blue, so it's a hard splash, but the mana's not too bad in this deck, and that just helps me get to the shit I need.
Using the
No.
Tri-lands for that splash then? Or so you
actually,
can have
I-
still for your other cards? Or
I have Temples in here and the Caryatids, and I haven't had too much of a problem. But this deck is like it's
It
wishy-washy.
feels like when it hits, it's like great.
Oh,
But
yeah.
when then you get stuck and you're like, I have this Garruk and I have 3 mana and no ramp, and I'm just like, I'm stuck here.
You know what,
Oh, yeah.
though? I think about the Sphinx more, and I think about it more. I think that, man, I can't talk. Woo! The 5 toughness that was relevant before is not relevant anymore. Because the flyers that it's going to block are usually 5 power now. The ones that are up in your butt. Like, yeah, Butcher and. Or like
Master of the Feast as well.
Master of the
Yeah,
Feast.
5/5 is pretty
That's
big.
true too. But no, what I'm thinking of, like, well, even like Plukernos or any of that other stuff. Like, I think like 5 is not as good. When I was facing up Knife, I couldn't like block anything besides his tokens, and I felt like the 5 before was like fucking good.
Well, it's
You know what I mean?
nice if you're not behind, because if you're behind, it kind of sucks. But if you're not behind, you just use it to find your
Right.
win condition, basically.
Right, the 3 damage isn't really going to win you the game, but the scrying will.
Yeah. So it's not the best list around, but I'm trying to just like figure out a Sultai list. Like, figuring out Sultai is hurting my brain because I'm just trying to put good shit together without like the whole self-mill delve fucking thing going on. And
You have no delve cards in there, huh?
I have no
That's
delve.
weird.
This is actually pre-con, so I have not fucked around with putting any cons cards in here. But
Well, then again, like the
Why'd you call it Sultai then? How dare you?
yeah, that's not Sultan.
That's the next one I'm trying to build is some sort of Sultai Waste Not deck where I force them to discard, which also gives me more board state, while I'm also using Delve to do extra shit to it. So I'm trying to make up some kind of fucking combo of making them have no cards while I have extra cards, and I get to use the cards they're wasting.
now I'm starting to choke up because Waste Not isn't good anymore.
Was it ever good?
It was good. I wish I would have actually like done some competitive play with it because that Demir Wastenaut deck was amazing.
It didn't know it worked. That's the fucked up part, is that it actually
really,
worked.
really worked.
And it wasn't that hard to get there.
Yeah. But that's,
How's your sideboard?
I still want to try to make something work with it. I want to.
the sideboard's alright. Some Drowning Sorrows, some Miscutters.
How's that sideboard?
That sideboard. It's nothing special. But the last thing I want to talk about, I drafted right before I came over, and I was able to go 2-1 in the Swiss because I haven't bumped up to the 8-4s yet, the big boy draft. But I drafted. It was basically a. I can't remember the names of the fucking the tribes. Anyways,
Abzan, Sultai, Jeskai,
Abzan,
and Martin.
because I picked one, a fucking Siege Rhino, and then I was able to get a Rattleclaw Mystic, but it wasn't like a traditional Abzan deck, or not Abzan.
What colors are you playing?
Not Abzan.
Rattleclaw's teamer colors.
No, I know, but I was just using it for ramp. What? Siege Rhino. Abzan. Fuck.
Jesus Christ. Not Abzan, but Abzan.
Fuck, who am I?
Not
Hot
Abzan.
sauce? What's going on here?
Today, Jordan.
Oh, yeah. Also, last podcast, I should have said this earlier. I was pretty drunk. I'm not going to lie. When we were in the beginning, I had a buzz. And then...
When the cast went on.
You drink more and you got drunker.
Yeah, as we're all talking, you just have the drink next to you and you don't even think about it. You're just like drinking like, I don't know, you just drink like anything, right? I mean, it doesn't really, you don't think about it. You don't think about how harsh the whiskey is or any of that stuff like that. You're just going for it. And so by the end of it, if you guys listened to the last one and I was explaining a combo deck, it's like unbearable. It's like, well, I didn't slur so much, but god damn it, did I make my point 6 times over, where it's like, stop saying Perforos. We get it. We get that it does 2 damage when a creature comes out. Just shut the fuck up.
That's good though.
Woo.
So, anyways, let's move on to some Noob's knowledge. I was almost like just pausing, as if like the music was gonna come on.
I was waiting for it.
We'll give yourself a little editing spot to
Yeah, a little,
pop in there.
little space. So, we're going to be talking about a topic that is daunting to some players.
Me in
all
particular,
players.
just getting into it. I just don't
or
know how to do
even
it
like
yet.
with
I need help.
with a new rotation. Maybe you don't know what to put. We're going to be talking about sideboarding.
What the hell's a sideboard?
I find it
don't know for a
interesting
while.
that you asked that, because I will tell you right now that the sideboard is a 15 cards.
A 15 cards?
A 15 cards, not.
The 15 cards.
15 of one card.
What'd you put in my drink? God damn it! It's
There goes the sobriety.
yeah, by 5 years. So it's 15 cards you can bring in after game 1. So you play game 1 with your stock deck. And then let's say, you're going up against a deck that has no creatures and you just have a shitload of creature removal in your main 60. You can take out those and bring in whatever you want from the sideboard. And so the previous rule was that it had to be a 1-for-1 switch. So if you took out a card, you had to bring in a card. So now, if you want, I don't know why, you could bring in all 15.
So you can say I have 75 cards in my
Yeah,
deck.
yeah.
That sounds like a great
Try
idea.
and mill me now, fuckface.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it makes sense to do that. I'm just saying, rules-wise, you can have 160 cards, so
It makes
why
more
wouldn't you
sense.
be able to add more to your deck?
Right. Well, I'm not sure why they
I'm
did
not saying you'd want to. I'm
Right,
just
right,
saying,
I think
why wouldn't you be able to? if you decided to
Logically,
make
the
that
way the
bad
rules
choice?
play out, it makes more sense now that you can bring in all your cards and not have to take any out.
Right.
But from a practical stance and a statistical stance, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You want to do 1-for-1, but
So sideboards, there's a bunch of different things sideboards can have. One of them is like a transformational, transgender
Just trying to make up
sideboard.
some kind of tranny word.
Transformer.
So basically, I don't want to say that the winning Pro Tour deck did this, but basically, let's say you're a control deck with no creatures, and you play game 1, and your opponent goes, "Oh shit, they have no creatures. My Crackling Dooms and my Hero's Downfalls aren't gonna fucking do anything, so I'm gonna take these out." And you're banking on this happening. So you bring in a bunch of creatures, and then they have nothing to deal with it.
Big move, bro.
Yeah, so you totally switch gears on them, or insert analogy here, whatever. You're like with my Mardu deck. I have a shitload of burn in the sideboard of my Mardu deck, mostly because I need something against like the control decks, and the burn seems to really help out in that way. So that's like a transformational sideboard where you really, they think you're playing one thing and you just change up the game and it's your deck.
You morph your deck.
Yeah, you morph it into something completely
Yeah, they get all rubber dope.
Yeah. So another type is like really geared for the meta. I mean, every sideboard should really be geared for the meta. Meaning, if you're playing online and you see a lot of Rabble Red or Burn, you might think about throwing in some sort of life gain. Like Freaka's Cure, it does 2 damage to something tiny, and you gain 2 life. And for Rabble Red or Burn, that really pushes you over the edge, that extra 2 life. Or, like I have a Erase in the sideboard. Not that I see a lot of the Ascendancy deck out there, but I really don't want to lose to it. Like I feel like I would just be really upset with myself if I lost to it. So I put an Erase. It's an instant exile target enchantment, and I guess it might be all right.
Just for 1 too.
Yeah, just for a single white.
One white. Yeah.
So I guess it might not be that bad. Also for like the green-black deck that's running around, the Constellation deck. So you got to take into account the decks you're going up against and what you're seeing. But like we talked about last podcast, really a sideboard is not supposed to be something to where, I have this really good deck, but I just want to play Garrick, He's cost $1 million, but I just like him so much, I'll just put him in my sideboard. That's not really the place for him.
What's the plan?
Yeah, exactly. What
that one wouldn't even be necessarily that bad in case you come up against a Super Friends deck. Then that actually would be a good card.
If it's a big deal, if it's in the meta, then yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, but I think what he's trying to say is like the sideboard is not for cards that you couldn't find space in your main deck. You're not like, I really like to play, like all my Pelucranoses and all this stuff. But and I want to play this other 4-drop cards that would really go good in my 60 cards, but I can't really put it in there, so I'm just going to put it in my sideboard.
Yeah, and also it's not so much about what you're going to bring in; it's what you're going to take out. Like, what are you going to take out against the certain matchups?
It is exactly like that. I think.
What are the shitty cards that are doing nothing for you? Like,
A Hero's Downfall against a control deck.
I mean, that's like a classic example. I'm trying to think of other examples. Okay, so if I go up against a control deck or aggro deck, I'm taking out my ridiculously high drops because their goal is to get me down before I can even fucking play my shit. So I take out Perforos, which does nothing when it hits the board in my Mardu deck. It eventually does shit. But it doesn't. It's a wasted turn because they're just going to keep attacking me with their little shitty guys.
Once in my deck, I'm pretty close to taking it out.
And also, I take out my Sarkins and my Stormbirth Dragons for aggro. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to put in, but I know if I want to beat them, I need to take those things out.
Too heavily costed.
It's too slow. They're going to ping me down with their 1, 2, 3, 4s before I can even get there. So, like I said, I have Burn in the sideboard, and I also have Anger of the Gods. So I can bring those in, and it's not like they're the best thing, but I'm taking out cards in my deck that are really detrimental to my matchup.
Yeah, a lot of times your sideboard, you want to you look at your deck, and you say, I do this really well. I play against these decks really well with my 60 cards. I know I can, say I have whatever deck is good against the counter to control. So I know I can beat control consistently. But I know that aggro, that's not my good matchup. I can't beat aggro with my 60 cards. So you can also just take those 50 cards and tailor your 15 card sideboard to side in against that certain matchup.
Right.
So that's generally like what your sideboard you're looking to do. You're looking to see what you're good against, your deck is good against, and what your deck is weak against. And the decks that you're weak against, you want to tailor your 15-card sideboard for certain cards that actually bolster your deck against the matchup you're bad against.
Right.
It's really all about the meta. With all these cards, you have to see what's out there right now. If you're watching videos and you're looking at the top 8, you're going, well, if I go play Friday Night Magic, I'm going to see these 3 decks. I'm going to see Mardu mid-range, now that it's popular too. I'm going to see Jeskai Tempo. I'm going to see the Rabble Master a lot. I'm going to see Abzan and those size that how big those creatures are and all that stuff. And so you have to go ahead and, I'd say, set aside a few spots per deck. You know what I mean? Okay, well, let's go ahead and put 5 cards against super aggressive strategies. Go ahead and put against 3 cards against Abzan big ass creatures. Put a few against control, like maybe extra
spell or something. Counter magic,
counter spell stuff.
Stop that Elspeth from ever hitting the board.
So that's what I see a lot of when I look at the top 8 sideboards. When I look at a card, I go, oh yeah, I know what that's for. That's for this kind of strategy. Oh, I know what that's for. That's for this other strategy. So that is the half of it. The other half is that you just need to take out the stuff that is weak. If you have Ashiok and you're playing 4 of those, and you go against control, you go, oh well, they don't have creatures. These 4 are dead cards. This sucks. If you're playing against Abzan and they're not even playing Elfish Mystic, they're only playing Caryatid and higher, then you need to take out your 4 lightning strikes, because that 3 damage is not going to kill any creatures. Yeah, it'll get you there maybe if you're playing a straight burn deck and if you're just going for the burn strategy, okay, fine, but I'm pretty sure that you're going to take out lightning strike because they're dead cards. You can't hit Caryatid, and everything else is a 4 booty or bigger.
Yeah, right. You'd be 2 for 1-ing yourself.
So you have to take those cards out. Okay, now what are you going to do? What's good against Abzan? You know what I mean?
What?
So.
I remember my first time.
Yeah.
Take it all. Take it.
Brent. Reich, that was bigger than I thought. So, I'm going to use an example for my mill deck. It was last season or before rotation or however you say it. My mill deck killed against mid-range. Killed. It was really weak against aggro, and it was completely dead against the creatureless control decks. So I had to tailor my deck to because I had a lot of cards in my deck that dealt with creatures. I had the 1 and a blue counter target creature spell. I had 4 of those. I had 4 Devour Fleshes. I had Crypt Incursion, which worked off creatures in the graveyard. I had some other shit. So I had to take a lot of stuff out when I went up against control that they had no creatures, and that was a big part of the meta.
Control was real big.
I had to dedicate a lot of my sideboard to it, and I got to a point where it was my whole sideboard was just for control, and I had to negotiate some cards to go against aggro as well. So I put in, I can't remember the
Drown
names.
in Sorrow?
No, well, I did have Drown in Sorrows.
Ulrika's Cure?
It wasn't for control.
No, it was the 1/3 blue guy.
I'm thinking of the other ones, okay.
It was the 1/3 blue guy who you scry to when he enters the battlefield.
Right. I can't really think of what his name is.
Right.
But I do know what you're saying.
From Theros. So
Speaker of Omen or Omen Speaker.
Omen Speaker.
yeah, Omen
there you
Speaker.
go.
So that might have not been the best card to put in there, but that was a compromise versus I bring it in for control or for aggro, just because I needed something. It was more about taking stuff out for control, and sure, a 1/3 versus control isn't all that great, but the scrying really helped, and just them wasting a removal spell on my 1/3 so I could save my 5 drops was definitely beneficial.
The trick to control in a lot of ways is having as much card advantage as they do.
Right.
And if you can draw as many cards like that one, the black enchantment that you attach to a land and tap it and draw cards from mono black. Control hates that card. They would allow that creature to stay on the board. They would exile that permanent before anything else because they did not want you drawing more cards. They wanted your hand empty so they can go about their business with their win conditions. But if you have 5 cards in hand, they can't play their Elspeth. They can't do a whole lot of stuff. So they need your hand to be empty and your threats to be down. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
And Omen Speaker was good against aggro also because
3 booty.
That's still
3 booty, 1 toughness. Would take out a lot of their shit against Rebel Red. So I mean, so like that card wasn't great. It wasn't a great card to put in, but it fit the meta, and it fit shit that I needed to take out. So once again, it wasn't about bringing stuff in. It was more about taking stuff out.
Right.
Siding things out.
Siding things out.
Sideboarding things.
So, I mean, that's a general gist of sideboarding.
And there's no wrong or right way to do it.
Unless you put all lands.
Unless you're siding in, a bunch of basic lands, then you're doing something wrong. But even, some people even actually run lands in their sideboard. That's the thing. You can run a Nykthos in your sideboard.
An
You
extra
could run
Nykthos will be
an extra
helpful.
dual land of some color. But I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do it. It really just depends on what you're looking to get out of your deck.
Yeah, what you feel you're weak against. Go ahead and side in.
And constructing like a good sideboard, there is no perfect sideboard. There'll never be a perfect sideboard that can answer to everything that you're bad against. It just won't happen.
Because you're going to go up against that crazy fucking out of left field deck that you just can't deal with. Your sideboard can't deal with.
You're just kind of hedging your bets against the decks. That
how did people feel facing the Jeskai Ascendancy deck for the first time? Going, well, I don't.
How do I answer this? I have nothing in my main deck.
Utter
nothing in my
end?
sideboard.
I mean, what the hell do I do?
It just happens. But that's the thing to take away. And to construct a good sideboard or a decent sideboard for your deck, you got to understand what your deck does, what its limitations are, and what the meta of wherever you're playing is, whether it be online, whether it be in your game store, whether it be a pro tour or qualifier or whatever. Just knowing the meta, and you have to be really kind of like really grounded with the decks that are out there. You have to know what each deck does, what they're trying to do to you, how to counter it. And there are only certain cards in each color that work for what you're like. There's only so many destroy artifact cards in like a green or like a black. They don't. All the colors don't have access to certain things. Like green red doesn't have access to instant removal kill spells. So you have to kind of just tailor your way around. Like, okay, well,
you have to throw in like the fight mechanic. Or something like that.
I know that I need to remove X card, and the only way I can do it is either by a burn spell in this color or a fight color card in this color. And you're like, oh, I need to counter Elspeth. Well, how do I do it? I'm not playing blue, so I can't do any kind of counter magic. I need another way to deal with that card.
Here's an example. Before the rotation, Voice of Resurgent was a huge pain in the ass, right?
Indeed.
It's a 2/2 that when it died, it brought out a token with power and toughness equal to how many creatures you control. So, in every sideboard playing white, they had a card that would exile a creature power 2 or less, and then the person that your opponent would gain 4 life. And that is a terrible card. Why would you ever want to have a main deck card that can only exile something power 2 or less? That's not a threat. But any other removal you normally had in your board that didn't exile would just be a waste. You wouldn't want to downfall. You wouldn't want to do anything else.
I can't tell you how many times I downfalled Voice and just felt horrible about it.
And then it got bigger and bigger, and you go, well, damn it, now you wasted my removal on it.
Yeah.
And now it's out of Lightning Strike range or whatever, you know what I mean? So they play this card that was absolutely terrible just to get around Voice of Resurgence. Or Devour Flesh was another card that target opponent sacrificed a creature of their choice. They're choosing. So when people played Naya Hexproof and they just got one Hexproof creature and stacked on it for days, no other removal would hit it. So now they had to play this card that would target the opponent instead of the creature and make them sack that creature. The only way around it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If you didn't have that card in your opening hand, you go, I don't think I can beat this deck. This deck is going to just stack up, have lifelink, trample over my shit, and I can't take care of it. There's nothing else you can do. So those are cards that are garbage basically, but so necessary for the meta at that time. If we want to continue on, I do want to talk about getting a couple card ideas for Crow's deck, because he has no sideboard for his Mardu.
Yeah,
his
Mardu.
Mardu.
What'd you call the deck? What's the name of it?
I call it Feed the Butcher.
Yeah, Feed the Butcher. I like that name.
Yeah, so there's an example of a top 8 deck that I'm looking at right now that has like Butcher the Horde and Goblin Rattlemaster and a few other things in it, like the Hordling Outburst and all that fun stuff. And in every deck that I look at, everything has 3 Anger the Gods.
Anger of the Gods is out there because Rabble Master's
Yes.
out there.
Instead of, I have a lot of Round Master. It wipes my own.
It wipes your own, but at least you're not dead to your
Yeah,
opponents.
this is like,
So-
I think when they board in like Anger, they're probably taking out Rabble Master.
They're probably taking out 2 of the Hordling Outbursts. taking
Yeah,
out
the
2 of
Hordling-
the
Well,
Rabble-
it's not
Rabble
necessarily
Master.
that you're taking them out. It's just that you don't play your shit out.
Yeah, you know that
Play it
you're
first,
going to be
then play
angry
mine.
Like,
yourself.
I keep my Blood-Soaked Champions in my deck, but I don't play them until I wipe the board. And then I play them.
So it's probably one of those things where you sandbag it until your opponent like just vomits all their their low 2-3 power toughness guys, and then you play Anger, and then once you're done cleaning up the board, then you bring out your lower
Right,
threats.
and then once you get a couple threats out there, their little guys aren't going to matter anymore.
yeah, because you can
So
just
Anger's
either one
for that.
trade them off or end up out tempoing them. But
Right,
I like
so-
Anger of the Gods is a perfect sideboard tech for like 90% of the decks that are out
Yeah,
there.
if you're running red, you're running Anger of the Gods, main or sideboard. What else do they have in there?
This one has 2 Chandra Pyromaster, 1 extra Elspeth. They have 1 Elspeth in the main. They have 3 Read the Bones, 2 Utter End, 2 Glare of Heresy. So Glare of Heresy is the exile white permanent.
Yes.
Which, when you're facing Abzan, then it's 3 color cards. You're going to be able to exile those creatures.
Yeah.
And
And
that's,
you'd be
that's
reliably hit
sweet.
something.
So yeah, exactly. You can't have it main board because what if you don't play a white deck? Well, then it's a dead card.
Yeah.
So you have to keep it sideboard, but it's a super cheap removal. Now instead of spending 3 or 4 for removal, you're able to spend what is it? It's 1 or 2?
2.
1
One and a
That's-
white.
Yeah, 1 and a white. So that's fantastic.
So it's super good. You can
Elspeth, exile the
that's the
Planeswalker.
first thing I think of.
Exile Sorin.
Yeah, Elspeth, and then also if you're going up against Abzan, especially with if they have the whip version, they're just going to whip that Rhino back and forth, exile that shit, so it never comes back.
Perfect
Yeah.
example.
So I think if you're playing white, that definitely goes at least 1 or 2 of in the sideboard.
right.
But for someone like for Crow's deck, like, I got to play against it. I know you're relying a lot on the Rabble Master. The backbone of your deck is pretty much Rabble Master, Butcher the Horde, and then the what's the sorcery where you get 3?
Hordling Outburst.
The Hordling Outburst. So that's kind of your from what I see. I mean, your dictates and like all your other cards kind of support this like trio of your deck.
Yeah, that's why I call it Feed the Butcher. It's
Yeah.
all about getting my tokens, attacking Round Master if possible, then feeding my Butcher to get over the top with all that extra shit.
Yeah,
So-
I feel like his deck kind of fall like that's good. The Butcher's good because it's a 5/4 body. The Rabble Master's good, especially in in multiples. He can get out of hand really quickly, and then just the token generator is really nice just to beef up your Rabble Masters. But I feel like this deck kind of just if you don't hit that curve and if you don't get your cards out right when you need them to, I feel like a lot of the like the bigger decks or even maybe in the control-y decks, they might get away from you. They might be able to outpower you by the time you're able to get it out. So I think you need if you're sideboard like how many downfalls are you running right now? Do you know Heroes Downfalls? Do you know if you're running a suite of 4 or just a 1 or
At the
2?
moment, I only own 1.
So only 1 currently. So I mean, something like even main decking 4 of your like Heroes Downfalls, or even just having a few in your sideboard. I feel like since you're running black, I feel like your removal package isn't quite there yet for just like straight kill cards or anything like that. So I mean, that might be something you want to add to the sideboard, like Drown in Sorrow.
Well, against straight aggressive strategies, it'd be nice to take out some downfalls because it's spot removal. Only takes 1 creature.
Right.
And bring in the sweepers. Bring in the Drown in Sorrows. Bring in the
Anger of the Gods.
All that fun stuff. Also, if you're playing against like a Jeskai tempo deck, then you want to throw in like your Thoughtseizes. If you're not playing them right now, then if you're only playing like 2 and then 2 of the what's the other one? Despise. Take out your 2 Despises and throw in 2 more Thoughtseizes or something like that. You know what I mean? To take care of their hand disruption, because that's what's really important for their damn control decks. Stuff like that.
Yeah, Thoughtseize is really disrupting a control deck's hand is like the worst thing for them because they're already when they draw those 7 cards, they're going through their head. They're already building out their plays. Like, okay, I have this spell disruption for turn 1, like 2, 3, and 4, and if you're able to just take out turn 3, than just pick it out from under the rug from them. That really screws up their whole game and their whole tempo-based plays.
Yeah, one of the guys played Liliana Vest or whatever because +1 discard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if the tempo deck's already going to go long game, fine, let's go ahead and bring out our long game, bring out your 5-mana Planeswalker, and just fuck their hand up, as much as you can. So.
I would even, is Chandra seeing any sideboard play? Just because of that?
Answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what in all Mardu decks. Every Mardu deck
I was
I've
going to
looked at
say, just
plays
because...
Drawing cards.
Well, drawing cards.
Well, not drawing cards, but being able to...
But you did
being
card
able to-
advantage. Card advantage is sweet.
But also, the target creature can't block this turn. I think would be
That'd be great
important
for
for
Rabble
his
Master.
deck.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because if you go up against a mid-range deck, they have their stupid fucking Rhino out, and you've killed everything else. Well, guess what? Can't fucking block this turn. All
And
your
know
fucking
what?
tokens
Your
going.
deck it's hard to get in with the Rabble Master.
Right.
Even though the
Really
Rabble
is.
Master's power can be like 4 or 6 or 8 or some crazy number from all the tokens, you're never able to get in with that guy. You always just attack with just the tokens. And so maybe
I
something
have
like
a
that
ride
would
down
help.
for that part of it. Ride down with the Rabble Master.
Ride down is that's where you destroy target blocking creature, and then your creature gets trampled. So basically, they block, but not all your damage goes through. So that's a good idea. That's a good idea right there. And then Chandra does kind of the same thing also.
Yeah.
But the thing with the Chandra is that it happens next turn also.
Yeah, it's
You
the
know what I
same
mean?
power. Even
$6. What do you
well,
do?
yeah, Chandra's not actually that. She used to be way more expensive. She used to be like a
$6
$15 card.
Oh, wow.
She used to be like $20, $15, but now she's actually really affordable.
Yeah.
Just tech the what's that Hammer Time enchantment? Where it's a red enchantment where you put it on one of your
it has
creatures.
haste?
It gives it your creature haste and target creature can't block this turn.
That's in the heroic.
Yeah, the heroic
Rabble
enabler
red.
ones.
Yeah,
Even
so
that kind of tech is kind of fun just to get your Rabble Master through.
Right.
But I mean, you definitely need more spot removal, some kind of answers to either the creature decks, and then more answers for hand control disruption for the control decks. Because I think you're good against aggro decks. You have enough. You're able to throw enough tokens in the way, or get enough tokens out there to do damage.
But still
against
throw an
those.
Anger of the Gods.
But throw Anger of the Gods.
Mm-hmm.
At least maybe 2-3 cards in your sideboard for Anger of the Gods. But
And then I also really like Read the Bones in this.
Read the Bones,
because
yeah.
When you're playing a tempo deck or you're playing something that's going to go a while, you want the scry and you want the card advantage. And your life might not matter so much in the control matchup. So for you to get card advantage over a deck that really relies on their card advantage, then you're looking real good. I would definitely throw some of those in the sideboard too, but maybe not the main deck.
I have one in the main deck at the moment.
Okay, maybe throw 1 or 2 more in the sideboard.
or Banishing Light. I like Banishing Lights.
Banishing Light's good.
Right,
the sideboard.
Use that. It's it's reactive, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you want your deck to beat face, but sometimes your little guys are not gonna. Your little guys are
You
going to
can have
die
these
when they
big
bring out
guys
their
in the way,
Planeswalker or
or- yeah.
whatever else, and now you can take out anything, including that goddamn Ascendancy.
Yeah, so your deck is very proactive, meaning you don't really care what they're doing. You're just trying to beat face, get your guys out there. So, let's say you go up against just this mid-range deck that you just can't get through. They're stopping you left and right. You do the whole transformative sideboard thing where you bring in just all this removal and keep, your key threat cards in there, and they're not going to be ready for it. So,
And eventually it'll get out of hand. Once you can stick 1 or 2 Rabble Masters and reliably keep them on the field, and then just deal with all their threats, their big threats that will block it, the game's gonna go in your favor in a few more turns after that.
Another one I could say would be Magma Spray. Magma Spray it's just like this. It's the same kind of card you would have against Voice Resurgence, where it does 2 damage, but if it does 2 damage to target creature. If that creature were to die this turn, it's exiled instead of going to the graveyard.
That's good tech against the Phoenix that's out
The
there.
Phoenix,
right now.
perfect. A perfect example is the Phoenix, the 4/1 Phoenix.
Yep.
You don't want it to morph because then it's just another dude. So it'll take out that and exile it. It'll also exile the Bloodsoaked Champion. So it doesn't keep coming back, keep getting sacked to the Butcher, all that fun stuff. So
Yeah.
in a mirror matchup, you probably want to go ahead and throw 2 Magma Sprays in there because that'll take care of those cards we just said.
Yep.
There might be a couple other couple
Yeah, there's
examples.
probably some other good
I've
sideboard
seen
cards out
Magma
there.
Spray in the sideboard. It does work against...
It hits every time,
Yeah.
for sure. It hits
Yeah.
every time.
Well, especially against Bloodsoaked Champion, and like you said, the Ash Cloud. But just for
There's probably a couple
Rabble
other
Master.
examples, but either way,
Yeah.
it's a real good card. So I see people throwing in like Utter End in the sideboard where people don't play. They're playing, destroy your creatures, get in for damage kind of stuff. But maybe Utter End would be necessary if you're going against a mid-range deck and you need to kill their Sark and you need to kill, I don't know, whatever, you need to kill whatever on the board, and Utter End will do it. You know what I mean? It's kind of higher, it's 4 mana, so maybe your deck's faster than that and you don't want to go ahead and have a 4 mana card in your hand that isn't going to go ahead and beat the shit out of them.
Well, it's just good because you can go 1, 2, 3, they play something, exile it, get it out of the way, whether it's Planeswalker, enchantment, creature, or whatever. I like the versatility of it, and especially for a deck that's running black. It's not all that often that you get the really good removal like that, because black historically cannot get rid of artifacts or enchantments.
Right.
So that's a really good way to kind of a broad removal spell that can hit a lot of stuff, even though it's kind of slow.
The Other End, though, like maybe against Abzan, where the lightning strikes are no good, then you want to get rid of Siege Rhino, like you said, because you want it to get whipped back into play and have that trigger happen again.
Yeah, you can board out
maybe
your
Utter End would be just a good way to change out some of your weaker removal, like the Magma Jets and the Lightning Strikes, and just throw in the big serious removal to take care of anything.
Right.
Because that 2-3 damage just doesn't hit a lot of shit in our... It won't take care of, Butcher, and it won't take care of Siege Rhino, so...
I've been kind of relying on Crackling Doom for those situations.
Crackling Doom, you just keep that in. You just keep that in.
Dude, I would...
Even against Control,
do you have
because...
4 in there?
I think I have 3 at the moment.
Yeah,
I
throw
would
4.
put 4
Don't
because
even touch
those are fucking awesome, especially against mid-range.
The 2 damage redirects to Planeswalkers, like we found out. It takes care of even Control, because Control wants to have that 1 creature, 2 creatures out, and you don't have to worry about the Sphinx anymore, because that Hexproof don't matter.
They
have that 1 Sphinx out, and they're just trying to have that, find all their win conditions, and just trying to have that win the game for them, and you're like, well, I'm going to 3 mana Crackling Doom your dude. He's dead, 2 damage to you, redirect to Planeswalker, hopefully, but if not, 2 to your face in the Control deck is just, that's fine already.
Yeah.
You want 2 to their face.
So I think, a good base would be for your deck, I'd start with probably a 4 of sideboard, or maybe 3 of Thoughtseize, a 2 or 3 of Anger the Gods.
Right.
Probably 2 Magma Sprays.
Magma Sprays for sure.
Probably get a few more, some kind of removal.
Glare of Heresy.
Glare of Heresies or Utter Ends in the sideboard.
2 glares.
2 glares.
There's
nice.
getting whites all around us.
Probably, I'd play even 1 of a Chandra's Pyromancer, because it is good.
Yeah, it does. It allows your shit to get in.
Yeah.
And it stays on the board. You know what I mean? More
And it's
or
good
less.
to bring against
You
Control.
made a comment about Liliana earlier.
1 Liliana would be nice, just because against Control it does disrupt your hand. And if you just bring it out, then you're able to -2 her and find that it looks for any card in your library, puts it on top of your library. So if you're really looking for something specific, if maybe, I don't even know if it could be just as simple as you have Butcher but no tokens or something like that, and you just need some tokens to get in there, or you have I don't know, you're just looking for any answer, right? That's all really it is. It's a card that can be any answer.
Right.
So.
And mostly, you know what, you'll look online, you'll take our advice, but the only way to get the sideboard you want is just playtest. That's why Moto is so... Dude, people have been calling it Mitgo, and it's really pissing me off. I fucking stupid.
That's what the Wizards guy call it.
Yeah, I fucking hate it. It bothers me.
But they're the ones that came up with it, so.
I'll kill them.
They're the ones that come up with the game that we love.
So, anyways, that's why I love it, because you can just playtest. I will go up against a deck, and I will just lose my fucking ass off, and I immediately go to my sideboard, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, fucking, I'm taking this out, I'm putting this in, so playtesting is, it's like, if you're fucking drunk, all you need is sleep. You can eat all the bread and drink all the water you want, but you just need to sleep it off. You just need to fucking playtest.
I thought it was something.
I wish I had this deck on Moto so I could play.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little expensive with
which is why I can't do that right now.
Yeah.
But
Do we still have that pay green and X to do damage to all flyers?
Windstorm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still
Windstorm,
here.
is it still here? Because that could be something in a green deck for Wingmate Rock.
Yeah.
Because Wingmate
Oh, yeah.
Rock is anything that's playing white, wants to play that. Maybe they don't want to buy it or whatever, but just imagine that it's out there. And 2 3/4 flyers is the bad part. The 1 3/4 flyer is no big deal. But 2, you're going to waste your downfall and go, well, that took care of 1, and now I have nothing else in my hand. So maybe even something like that in a sideboard for Wingmate Rock. And for also the Jeskai flyers, they're always playing 4 of those. I see 2 of those guys in the battlefield all the time. And that'll only be 4 mana to take out 2, 3.
I'm not sure. Does Windstorm only target creature, or is it all creatures?
It's all flyers.
Okay,
including
all flyers.
yours.
That's
if you
it.
have flyers.
Okay. Including yours, exactly. But that's just could be another idea in that. I guess the thing is with it is that if you want to take out the rock, that's 4 toughness, and so is Butcher. That kind of sucks. But I still think that the sweepers are very important.
You're not going to be playing Butcher.
No, true that. I'm just saying.
But it does hit your Storm Breaths and stuff. But it's not a huge deal. I mean, at that point, you're no longer worried about getting your flyers out there. You're worried about their flyers getting over.
Right.
So
I mean, that's.
But yeah, I mean, for people like Crow and people out there that are trying to construct their sideboard or don't know where to start with their sideboard, definitely look at the meta. Like, go to sites and see what other people are playing, like kind of similar to yours, and see what their tech is in their sideboard, and kind of go from there, and just know just kind of feel it out as to what your deck's not good against, and then try to just craft a little bit of sideboard to be up, to help your matchup against them.
So I don't know if I'd ever play this, but you did at one time. One of these guys that got a first place at
I like that
whatever Unity Games max point gold, blah blah blah. He has 1 Stain the Mind. It's a sorcery from M15 that's 5 mana. It's 4 and a black. It has Convoke. Sweet, that's fine. Name a non-land card. Search target player's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. Then that player shuffles his or her library.
That'd be sweet for the Rhino.
Exactly.
Right, like any of those cards that you're like, all right, you know what? This is a pain in the dick. I'm going to just stop you right now. You have creatures to Convoke with, so it's not going to cost 5. And you're going to able to.
You can do it on turn 3.
You can do it on turn 3, and you're able to exile it from their hand, graveyard, and everything. You know what I mean? It's not on the board though. If it's on the board, then this thing doesn't hit it. But hopefully, you're just going to be able to do it before they get that Rhino out. You know what I mean? They're waiting to play that Rhino on turn 4. Yep. Turn 3, you Stain the Mind, and you make them cry.
Actually,
you make them cry.
It's actually a really good card for the sideboard.
Yeah, Elspeth.
I'm going to throw one in my sideboard
If you know something like that,
I totally didn't even think about that card.
Maybe Brimaz is a pain in the ass.
Yep.
Take him out. You know what I mean? Maybe. It's any card. That's the thing. It's just non-land card.
Yeah, I want to test.
So
test it out.
maybe Crackling Doom is your what you hate the most. I don't know.
Bane.
Whatever's the bane of your existence, you get to go ahead and play it on turn 3 or 4, and just not worry about that card anymore. Yeah. And now you don't have to question what's in their hand or what their top deck was. Is it the card that's going to screw me over? You know it's not.
But we're going to go ahead. We're going to get after this. We're probably going to get Crow's some suggestions for they'll start crafting his sideboard, tailor it a little bit to him.
Nice.
But
yeah, tune my actual deck a little more too.
Yeah, but that is a good point. That you can't really craft a good sideboard until you have your 60 card main deck kind of solidified and finally combed to like a green mean beat machine.
About mine that I am not. One of the things about mine I'm not happy with. I'm trying to figure out is it feels like it wants to be fast, but it's not fast. And it's with all the tokens and shit and everything. Like, yeah, it's there, but by the time I'm getting all that shit going, you already have your big guys, and it's really just. I don't know. I got to figure some things out with it.
The only time I felt like his deck was unbeatably fast is if he gets 2 Rebel Masters out.
Yeah.
When he gets 2 out, I go, well, I'm done. Like there's if I kill one, that the other one is still attacking for 6, and he still has freaking 3 or 4 tokens out. Like it's really hard to deal with. It happens every now and
then. It's awesome.
Yeah, when he has 2 of those out, then I'm pretty much done for. But you're right. I feel like that it's not that fast. It's not that fast.
Need to be this main deck just needs to be tuned just a little bit more. Maybe like trim a little here, trim a little there, and just kind of just focus in more on one play style. And then at that point, once he locks that 60 down, it's like solidified. That's good. Then you can kind of move on to the sideboard and fill the other gaps.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a Noob's knowledge
Super
for you.
informative.
Very informative. Yeah. I feel more informed.
I feel smart. SMRT.
I learned some things. Some things.
I got some things to work on.
So, we haven't done this in a while. Are you guys on Twitter at all?
I just started an account.
Alright, well, let the fucking people know where they can find you.
At Crow.
How do you spell that?
SAMHAINCROW.
Sam Hain Crow.
Sam Hain. I always
read Sam Hain.
Whenever I have a problem spelling it, I just say Sam Hain. It's as easy as that. It's already solidified in my mind.
That's how it reads. It's just a back in the day word that's the original name for the festival of Halloween. So it's pronounced Sowen or Samhain.
Or just think of the band.
Yeah.
What?
Danzig's
Sam Hain?
band.
Yeah,
Oh,
right
yeah,
after
yeah,
Misfits.
right.
This is good. I like it. And Sauce, what about you? Where can people find you?
The thing is,
what's your address?
I'm usually just at If Lance Could Kill. The thing is, if Lance Could Kill it's -1 L on the Twitter account because there's no characters that you can have in there. I'm like, well, how do I solve this? I'm like, I'm just taking off an L. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not going to think about it too much. So that's that. I don't have a personal Twitter account.
So you're generally the one who runs our Twitter account.
I try to run a lot of social media. I try to. Anyone in the cast, maybe the one talking, but if there isn't a name next to it, say in parentheses or whatever, saying that, Knife City or something like that, it's probably just me. So if there's anything that you hate, just send the hate to me. Send it on there. Other than that, I mean, really just look at... That's all I can say is just, if you want to reach me, just reach our normal sites. Reach our normal outlets. Facebook, If Lance Could Kill. Twitter, If Lance Could Kill. IfLanceCouldKill.com. You can send an email through that site also. That's pretty much what I would say.
What about you, Reich?
And you can tweet me at Max Strongrod. No, I actually don't have a Twitter, so I do not patrol the Twitterverse. But you can still catch me on every now and then on Twitch TV at what the hell's my Twitch TV? It's ILCK_Reich. Every now and then I'll be tweeting, but you can also get me through the. Just go ahead and send us a message through Facebook, and I'll eventually read it through there. But I do not have anywhere you can reach out to me personally.
Are you going to be streaming this week?
I might not be. No.
I'm heartbroken.
I have too much stuff. I would love to sit down and just be able to get some good moto time in, but I don't think I'll be able to for the rest of the week.
Disappointing.
Wow.
And you can always find me on Twitter at knife_city. And I look at that every day. That's where a lot of the Magic community...
That's where the magic happens?
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say it.
And that's been episode 18 of Lance Could Kill. I'm Knife City.
This is Reich.
That's Sowen Crow.
And Sauce.
And we'll catch you, not now, but later.
But where? On the flip side?
On the side, and you have to flip it over. And
B-side. Catch you on the B-side.
We at this bitch.
later.
I like your recorder stand each time.
So this is such a fucking white trash fucking setup, but it sounds decent. It sounds
Totally sounds decent.
if you were to take a picture of it and be match this to the sound of the recording, people would be like, "What the fuck?"
When you first pulled it out, I was like, "Really? Is this the backup?"
It's like the.
I kind of thought you guys did directly onto a computer or something. Honestly, that's what I thought.
It's so not even that cool.
Yeah, you don't even want to know how he actually gets it on.
Yeah, this doesn't have a USB or micro SD card.
So you actually have to play it through.
So I have to plug a male-to-male audio cable from the headphone jack on this to the microphone jack on my computer, and then fucking record
As you play
what's
back.
coming. I hit play on that, and then I record on Audacity, so it is recording what's coming through the mic, which is this. So it's just the most.
You can still
ghetto.
talk outside of it, and it just records.
I can still play Moto, and it won't record because it's just strictly recording just from the mic.
Okay.
But it's
that's good. That would suck to sit there for 2 hours just silent.
Yeah, I usually play.
Babe, God damn it, you fucked it up.
Yeah.
Nice beer belly. I like it.
Yeah, it's not cool.
So badass.
Me and him have been eating a lot.
Eating very well.
Eat my dick.
Good.
That's all. That's a negative calorie food. It's high in protein. Right?
I I wonder.
So you guys are like 60 down and give each other daily protein shots? Is that what's going on?
I wonder.
Yeah, like Jamba Juice, a little bit of wheatgrass, a little bit of protein.
I wonder if you're like stuck on like a desert island and you're like desperate for food. Could you survive on your jizz for like protein?
Not your own, someone else's only. your body would know it's the same.
So then it was like scientific.
Your body is like,
Send that into Bear Grylls. They can test that shit
No,
out.
I'm gonna send it to Mythbusters.
mtg.ox. Whatever. No, but your body's
Drink
going
his own
to
piss to survive in the ocean rat. Let's see if we can drink his own jizz to
body's
survive
going to
without food.
recognize your own jizz, and it's going to be like, we just gave this. We just sent this out. You can't put it back in.
It's like a human centipede to yourself. Just keep
You're
filtering it through.
Well, if you lost that protein, just as on a science chemical standpoint, if you lost that same amount of
it's
protein
true.
and you eat that same protein, where's that really going to get
That's
you?
a closed system, yo.
And it can't be. Remember, there's no like real perpetual motion machine. There's nothing that can lose energy and gain that same amount of energy exactly. You would even lose
That's some
protein.
I still
Because
feel like you've
you're
tried this.
expending energy
but
jerking
you
off.
can't expel and then absorb the same amount. That is not possible to do 100%.
It's like some Full Metal Alchemist type of shit right there. You
Just
know what
remember
I
the
mean?
last couple more days.
No,
I'll
more
Or
like-
science.
more like Night City Alchemist. No, because they wouldn't talk about that, but Night City would.
Because, they're like, oh, all the energy has to come from somewhere. It's like coming from the other world.
Coming hard, dude.
Oh, dude, it's loads.
So hard.
Like
loads
like
you can-
over 9,000. Whoa!